Lefty podcast. I am your boy, Biz Marquis, my boy KRS1, the Onora boys in the building.
You know how we get down.
You know how we get down. Brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. That beautiful American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. If you drink, by all means, make sure you do so.
Responsibly.
You gotta do it responsibly. Left, I'm gonna let you roll. You just got finished watching Marcus Freeman's press conference. I have some bullet points. You definitely have something to start off with the very last thing he said at the end of his press conference. And we're going to get to that, but don't forget, YouTube, smash it. CFB Nation, audio edibles each and every day. It is what it is. It's a Lucky Lefty podcast, home in the misguided passion. You already know. We spin it different. Each and every day, we start with leftovers, which are comments left by fans after the show based upon what we said. Left last night, the comments spilled over from YouTube into my DM, where we and myself personally were accused of making a mockery of KVA's commitment. I was accused of calling him a mama's boy when he is a self-proclaimed mama's boy out of his own mouth, even after his commitment. And not only that, let me read you the direct quote, because I don't want to misquote. Shaun, you were so disrespectful of the KVA decision. But I do not like you saying that God has him delusional. And this is why we do leftovers. We never said anything about God. Did we have a problem with what he said, Love?
God helped us.
I thought that's what we said.
God showed him something that he didn't believe in his own self.
And I think our point was, in the midst of God helping us, please don't be deaf to what he said.
Yeah, this is what he said to us. We didn't say
God helped us.
God.
But don't be tone deaf to the fact that the young man said, I could not see myself playing at Notre Dame.
At all.
Because it relates to other great players. Delusional? God? God has him delusional. Wow.
God didn't harden his heart like the Pharaohs. God opened his heart up and said, hey, I'm showing you something you don't even know about yourself.
Man.
And all we was just saying is that Marcus Freeman should take a step back and call on the good Lord. Because what he's been doing this whole time has been getting close, but he didn't call the closer, obviously. But it speaks to also, is that what it takes to get to Notre Dame? Is God got to intervene in your recruitment? Not that he's not there all the time, but you would think that there's other factors that would help you decide, because that's not what other recruits are always referring to. They just saying, yeah, I like the school because it's going to give me 2 weeks, that's second, third. We would hope that the perspective of Notre Dame obviously includes God, but also includes something that, the efforts that the staff is putting forth matters. Because clearly this one wasn't a staff decision. This one was, a spiritual one. The staff works hard every day. We would want those recruiting efforts to apply to these 5 stars that we seem to not acquire as much as other schools.
Yo, man. Look.
Good grief.
This is why we do leftovers, because it's our show. And I see people in the chat. And I'm going to say this once again. And I feel strongly about this. This is our show. This is our format. We do it the way we want to do it because we spin it different. You don't rush us to get to what we get to. We got about an hour and 50 minutes left. There's plenty of time to talk about one day of camp and a press conference. Relax. This is what we do. Jarron Jones he's waiting for us in the background, by the way. Relax.
People don't like preheating the oven. People like taking the cookies out the package and throwing them in the oven. You gotta.
We literally created leftovers for the fans because they continue to comment on what we talk about after the show.
Yeah. They must ain't been on no date before, man.
Dude, it is all I'm saying is, and all we continue to say, man, God, I need to work on my prayers. I'm sorry. I'm headed down to South Bend next week, bro. I promise you I'm going to the grotto. I promise you. I promise you I'm going to the grotto. I promise you I am. I got a nice list. 24, 25 kids. Gotta get them.
That's how we gotta approach it. Hit the grotto first, then hit the huddles in the recruiting sites.
Man, so Marcus Freeman just met with the media. First time this fall. We're gonna bring in our brother. I'm gonna call him Cake Daddy.
Yep.
I'm calling him Cake Daddy for today's show.
Yeah.
That's because he's definitely been caking the last 24 hours, Lee.
Oh, he's very familiar. I'm familiar with his skill sets when it comes
to we love him. He's doing big things. And I have to ask you, big bro.
Is it good?
Well, yeah, you just got through with lunch with the missus.
Yeah.
What did you partake of? What did you partake of?
She made waffles and I just made a ridiculous piece.
That's right. That's right. See, listen, they like you when they make a little food for you. You know what I'm saying?
I made them myself.
Okay. Well, you know how to stay alive, but you got to have that partnership where she's like, you know what? I care about your well-being so much. I need to make you a little waffle or something.
Nah, I'm making some salmon tonight, though.
That's
okay.
Right.
Okay.
That's right.
You making salmon in the oven or you doing it on the grill?
Nah, it's the oven. I ain't got a grill.
Oven?
I just moved into my place, so I don't got a grill yet.
Okay. Congratulations, man.
Appreciate it.
From dorm rooms to palaces. I mean, like that.
I wouldn't call it a palace, but it's something nice.
So before we get into the first day of camp and specifically the defensive line at Notre Dame, what you had your eye on, did you see when Notre Dame invaded New York, did the press run?
I did.
You saw the videos, right?
I only knew that they threw the first pitch. Outside of that, I don't really know about anything else.
Okay, perfect setup because Joe Alt was out on the streets
Yep.
You are the New York representative, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So
right.
Joe did a little food.
Oh, for Buffalo. Because
A
Jay
food.
Yeah. I was about to say I
represented
wouldn't really necessarily call New York City my hometown, but I see where you.
Buffalo, the representative of Buffalo.
Okay, we'll say
Amherst, New York. There we go.
We would have to consult guys like Pete Makwa, Jay
Jay Hayes,
Eshak,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
even Trimbetti.
You're right.
New Jersey, that's the
You
arm.
forgot about Trim Buddy right across the river. My point is, even you being as close, we'll save the Griselda questions for later then. Even you, if you went to New York and you said, yo, I'm going to tell people these are the places you have to go to really talk about the food in New York, or these are the foods that I'm going to try.
Yep.
You would still be able to do that. Even being from Buffalo.
Yeah.
What 3 foods would you say these are the 3 things we have to eat on camera?
At Notre Dame or in New York City?
New York City. Then we can do Notre Dame, because that's a good question.
So for the city, obviously, it would be any pizza parlor. Then after that, a close second. You can put it first or second. It would be Italian food because you always get pasta.
Now, would it be Queens Italian, or would you stay on the main island?
I would have to stay on the main island.
Okay.
I will only go to Queens in the Bronx or Brooklyn for some like Caribbean food. You know, you need some good oxtails in your life. You never had oxtails. I'm telling you now.
Don't stay away from them.
Chicken.
Exactly. Stay away from them exactly because they give you health problems.
Stay away from what?
From what? Ain't nothing wrong with a good oxtail, bro. You going crazy. Hey, and if somebody really knows how to cook the curry goat, if they really know how to cook the curry goat,
yeah,
curry goat, yeah, for sure.
Rice and peas, you know, even a side of mac, side of collard greens, you know, you can't go wrong with either or.
But you don't eat like that no more. You on that salmon and broccoli. That
yeah.
Wow.
When I'm at home, when I'm within my walls, yeah, I try to eat pretty healthy for the most part. I just had a pizza again, but yeah. I think I made some tacos earlier this week, some street style tacos.
Okay.
So that's the LL question of the day.
Yeah.
As we get ready to talk about fall camp. Notre Dame fans, wherever you are, we got Notre Dame fans all the way over in Great Britain. We got Notre Dame fans in Germany that watch us.
Notre Dame fans are everywhere.
Everywhere, man. Wherever you are, give us the go-to spot if we come to your town, wherever you are, that we must partake of.
Because I'm coming there in September because I'm doing a game in Buffalo. So you gotta let me know.
Buffalo? Oh.
Mm-hmm. Buffalo versus Liberty. Shout out. You know, CBS.
Oh, UB plays Liberty. Ooh, I might have to go to that.
Yeah.
Ooh. That's gonna be a good game.
It'll be a good game.
That's gonna be a good game.
John Matt.
Yeah, but you can never go wrong with Lenova's because it's like the best pizza spot in Buffalo. Buffalo is really known for their wings. I think they got great wings. You can go to any bar.
So that's not a myth. That's not a myth. Like the Buffalo.
No, we're actually one of the original creators of wings, even from like when it was when it was just the black people just making wings, and they was really like a 10 piece was really only going for $1.50. You know what I'm saying? And then like a 20 piece is only like $2.50.
Wow.
Yeah. Like my grandma was even telling me a story about this actually like earlier this summer. Like, yeah, it was like back in like, early 60s, most, when things were still separate, the whites were pretty much the chicken breast, chicken thighs, but they thought like the wings were like, they would just discard those. And then it was a black man who opened up a restaurant just off chicken wings, and he was selling like 10 pieces for $150. You know, I got to find the picture. I literally had the picture, but my photo album is so long and so big. Like I got like 10,000 photos, so it would take me forever to find it. But like literally, like it would be like a 40 piece would be like $3. Like it was just like they were super cheap. Everyone wanted to just like people in that neighborhood because they were so cheap. Everyone loved chicken wings, and you know, that was just it. And
is it February? You dropping some Black History? Is it February? Okay,
nah, it's
I
not,
like it all year.
It's not February, but you know, just I always try to learn as much as I can. You know, always.
What you're talking about was actually chronicled in the Rick James documentary.
Yeah.
He spoke about this time.
And Rick James from Buffalo.
Yeah, he spoke about this time. He spoke about loving hot wings even when he moved out to the West Coast.
Yeah.
That's actually dope.
Yeah, and then like obviously once, you know, not to say it's white people's fault, but you know, once white people started to get on to chicken wings, then that's when the price started to raise because there was more of a demand for it, obviously, with the greater majority at the time.
That's actually
and now
crazy.
You know, we fast forward to 2021 to this era, they say there's an alleged chicken wing shortage now. You know what I'm saying?
The Iron Lucky Lefty podcast. So we're gonna start with Marcus Freeman's press conference, and I'm about to I don't know if you heard the press conference or any of it.
Nah, I've been just literally unpacking at my place. I'm not even fully moved in.
Okay, so we're going to give you an abridged version of what he talked about, but Malik is a little hot about something he said towards the end. So I'm just going to go ahead and let Malik roll on this one because what was it at the end that got you hot? I know it was a question about Steve Angeli, I believe.
Steve Angeli, man, is just New York guy, right? Or New Jersey. Man, it just doesn't sound like the right language in terms of what you want from your franchise quarterback. When we're thinking of Notre Dame, you want to recruit the dogs. You want to recruit guys that are ready to take on the position day one. That's the expectation. Bryce Young, great example, came in and was mad he didn't beat Mac Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. He mad. He coming in from high school, modern day. Like, why is Mac Jones playing over me?
Yeah,
that's the type of attitude you want from your quarterback. That's your franchise, especially if you're worth a damn as a program. You get Marcus Freeman talking about Steve Angeli being thrusted into the position. How you thrusted into the position? You go to school to play quarterback. You ain't thrusted into being thrusted into a position is like you working at McDonald's and you a fry cook. You cooking up them fries. You every day 8 to 5 cooking up them damn fries.
Yeah.
One day, the cashier don't show up, and you got to take over shit.
Yeah.
Manager like, hey, fry cook, hit the cashier. That's being thrusted into a position. Yeah, everybody work at McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
But you got your role. You the fry cook.
Yeah.
But if they tell you to work the cashier one day, you like, wait a minute. I don't know how to take no order. I don't know how to punch these buttons and take the money and do the exchanges and make the conversation. I don't know how to, I cook fries.
Yeah. I just think of it as, him being thrown into the fire, especially,
No. How you thrown into the fire?
Because you got to think about this. Probably last year, because this is a quarterback we're talking about, right?
This is a quarterback.
Yeah.
Who's been here
last year, Drew Pine, it was Drew Pine and Taylor Buckner taking all the reps. Even if there was injury or if there was something catastrophic to happen, we wasn't expecting Steve Angeli to go into a game.
See, that's the problem. Steve Angeli wasn't expecting, and that's the problem with the mentality that we recruit. Why are we recruiting guys that's not expecting? How you not expecting to play? What you want to go there and just?
I wouldn't say, but that's the thing. I'm not saying he's necessarily expecting to play, but just like think about it, like when let's say you're a third or fourth string quarterback, and you know you're going to take reps, but you know you're not going to get any game experience, so you're just going into the season thinking, how can I get better through practice reps and stuff like that, scout team reps. And then now there's a possibility now because we lost two quarterbacks, and obviously we have Sam Hartman, but who's going to be our QB2? What if Sam Hartman goes down? What if we lose him for the season?
Prime example. Marcus Freeman said, "Man, I love that Steve Angeli's hanging around Sam, trying to learn how to be a dog and learn from a quarterback. Yeah, that's cool and all, but at the same time, that's not the mentality you want as a quarterback. A dog don't hang. He didn't say nothing about Kenny Minchie hanging around with Sam Hartman. He didn't say nothing about Kenny Minchie being a follower or hanging around trying to, take something from somebody, because Kenny Minchie knows he's a dog. Kenny Minchie looking for the opportunity to play, no different than a Bryce Young. Bryce Young, as much as he took the backup role to a Mac Jones, at any point Mac Jones took a seat.
Yeah, but I think
just like anybody else, Bryce Young going in there like, I should have been playing day one, because he had an expectation for himself. If you going in Notre Dame, just like going to any top program with the expectation of, well, let me just see, wait a year. That's not how college football even works today. You're getting paid $8 million just to have the expectation. You better jump on the scene and get great. That's $8 million. And I think for the kids and for what Notre Dame needs, we need a guy that's in there like, hey, I need to be day one guy. I need to be I'll have the expectations for myself. And if it comes down to it, no different than how I felt when I was there, no different than how Deshaun felt when he was there, how Ed felt. The opportunity when it comes, you got to be ready to go. And I think that for your coach to speak about you as a guy that's being thrusted into a position, or is being pulled up, or being mentored up and ready to go, it doesn't sound like the language of a guy that's being recruited as a 5-star, for instance. If we were to get Keon Keeley, we're not talking about Keon Keeley 2 years later like he's about to be thrusted into playing. What are we talking about here? We want that position to be elite. We want a guy to come in here and be like Justin Scott. He's looking to be like, I'm trying to play with other great players day one that I'm not better than, where I can elevate my talent being an elite player already. We don't need to be acting like we're Jesus and raising Lazarus from the dead to be able to be operational for a quarter for our football team. We need a guy that's like, I'm ready to go tomorrow.
I think it's more
the mentality of a Kenny Minchie.
Yeah, but again, so any great athlete, in order to be a great athlete, you have to be the most self-critical, right? So in any form or fashion, if you can find ways to improve your game, and so like let's say for example, if you were playing for the Jets right now and you were competing with Aaron Rodgers, you still wouldn't want to pick a 14-year for surefire, about to be first ballot Hall of Famer when he retires. You won't want to pick his mind to see, like, how does he get that competitive advantage? What is his recipe as to why he's gotten so much success in the league?
You definitely take things from guys as an experience. For instance, do you think that Ev was taking a lot from Tommy?
I think so.
But was Ev around, following Tommy around, trying to
no,
exactly. Because Ev knew who he was. Ev might have saw what Tommy did here and there, and like, okay, but Ev wasn't out here trying to suck up what Tommy was learning and take it for himself. It was like, man, I know I'm good. I was number one guy coming out of high school and shit. I just want an opportunity. But again, and Tommy clearly showed two different ways of doing the same job. Ev was good at what he was good at. Tommy was good at what he was good at. And it worked that way. I don't want a copy of what Sam is as a rental. How much you going to learn from a guy in 1 year that you can apply if you're not already ready? If you're not ready in 2 years at Notre Dame, if you ain't ready by your red shirt sophomore year and you still trying to jump on the train at offense especially, it's over for you.
Yeah, but I feel like again, these are different circumstances because again, no disrespect to Tommy, but Tommy wasn't getting the notoriety going into that 2012 season as Sam Hartman is getting into this season. Tommy wasn't considered, on the top 5 of the elite quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying?
Tommy's a top 6 Notre Dame quarterback of all time.
For sure. Absolutely.
Due to all the metrics and all that. So
exactly. But again, I feel
JJ, I will to go and kind of support your point. 2011 Tommy literally lost games, turning the ball over in the red zone.
Yeah.
A crazy rate.
Yeah, and I feel like that 2012 season where he kind of got back into the start, where he was putting points where he had to play. I feel like it was more like a real true underdog story for him.
How? He a top 6 quarterback, underdog in the top. That's like saying Ian Book was an underdog. How? He played. In fact, Tommy played almost the 3rd most games ever type at Notre Dame.
Yeah, but again, when a quarterback loses his job, what does the normal public do when a quarterback loses his job?
They write him off. If you lose your job in college as a quarterback, it's different than losing your job if you in the league. If you lose your job in college and you're playing the most games.
But Malik, let me tell you this.
What do you?
Because I was actually there in 2012, and I watched the 2011 season when when the keys got handed to Everett, everybody was super excited because of the fact that Everett can actually extend plays, can actually move with the feet. Yeah. They considered Everett more electric than Tommy. Again, no disrespect to Tommy because Tommy's a great quarterback. I think Tommy's one of the most underrated quarterbacks in my eyes personally. But again, even me coming in as a little freshman who was just taking in knowledge, seeing a quarterback who was the starting quarterback last year gets replaced by a freshman. You're thinking that Tommy is either going to transfer or Tommy's not going to. He's not going to be the starting quarterback at least for the foreseeable future. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that's
the reason why. I'm just saying that's a reason why.
Yeah, but again, so Everett's not gonna be. I feel like if it was Sam Hartman playing in front of Everett would be trying to soak as much knowledge as he could.
I don't think so. Everett. Ev. Look how he plays basketball. Like the man
I know, but with Sam Hartman coming over with the resume that he has.
Matter of fact, Sam wouldn't even transfer if Ev was there. Let's go that far.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like that. It wouldn't even exist as a scenario because the mentality that Ev had is different than the mentality of a Steve Angeli. And at least you could win with Ev. We went to the championship.
Yeah,
you can't go nowhere with a mentality of a guy that's.
But also during that season, there was times where we took Ev out and put Tommy in. Tommy had to close the game for us.
Yes, but Tommy also was losing a lot of games for you. So yeah, you can
not that year because we went undefeated that year.
Right, but I'm saying you can play a great backup position, a complimentary position, because the full thing, it ain't. It's very Kirk Cousins like.
Yeah,
you can give us a you know all the offense you can do, but as the game goes on. You don't get stronger. So when you input yourself in spots, he did his thing. But that's because Ev was young.
Yeah.
I think if Ev was the same age as Tommy, it wouldn't be no Ev and Tommy, it'd be Ev.
I don't know. We'll
see. It's interesting because I will say this. The question and the way it was phrased to Marcus Freeman was, which I thought was interesting, especially dude, you just started camp. Like Coach Freeman, did you ever think about after spring going back to the portal for a quarterback to get a veteran quarterback? See, that's a problem. First of all, because this is Steve Angeli's second year.
That's what I'm saying. It's your second year.
It's second year. You got Sam Hartman. So if you have to contemplate going back into the transfer portal for a backup, not for a starter, for a backup, and you have a second-year quarterback and a freshman.
Every year,
Which, if you are a program,
they've got to transfer.
If you are a big time program, that freshman should be ready to start games in November.
That's what I'm saying. Bryce Young.
If you're a big time college football program, that freshman quarterback, I didn't say he should be able to be great. He should be out. He should be able to carry out a game plan.
Serviceable
in November.
Yeah,
every year Steve Angeli has been there. They've gotten a transfer quarterback every year. First, if they knew he was going to be the man coming in, they wouldn't have got Jack Cohn.
But he said, no, we decided not to, but we thought about it. He didn't just flat out say, oh, no, we got full confidence in Steve Angeli. He said, we thought about it, and then after discussion, we decided not to.
Tell your girl that, Jarron. Tell your girl that, Jarron. Tell your girl, like, before I dated you, I thought about dating somebody else.
Listen, I am now a high school coach.
Same.
Put yourself in the coach's position, and you want your quarterback to do better. You want your quarterback to pick his game up. Honestly, I would say something like that. I would.
Okay.
Because I feel like you want to see how your players will respond. So I think it's just like an indirect call out to see if he's going to pick his game up and answer the call that we're calling for him to do.
See, that's my problem.
I respect the move.
That's my problem. Oh, there's too many games being played. For what? Do you think that they, for instance,
he finally admitted what we've been saying since March.
Yeah,
it's a benefit to go into camp with a true leader at quarterback and not having a quarterback battle. After he did all that dancing with Sam Hartman, Tyler Buckner, both of these guys. No, we got a real leader.
And to be honest, that's why Tyler Buckner transferred, because he knew. Because even when Sam Hartman, and when it was announced that he committed, we all knew he was going to be QB1.
Yes. We all knew it, JJ. We knew.
So, yeah.
But that's why the games got to stop being played.
No, it don't, because these kids now in college, think about it, Malik. Our generation is over, because now there's these NILs, there's the transfer portal where your coach can't restrict where you go, and you can go somewhere and play.
Even more reason why you don't play games.
I know, but so a lot of these kids don't have the same urgency that we had, because again, because they feel like, okay, if this don't work out, there will be another opportunity that will be waiting for me, and I will be able to just walk in and just start, because they feel like they'll have a need for me. You know what I'm saying? Where it's no longer, there's not many competitions anymore going into camps, especially at the quarterback position. Especially
look at Georgia, look at Bama, look at all the top Ohio State, look at all the top programs got a quarterback competition. It's the ones that don't are the ones that's successful, i.e. USC, i.e.
Exactly.
Carolina,
so because at this point, this was a very quarterback heavy draft. Think about it.
Every year, quarterback competition. It's the teams that don't have one are the ones that are the best teams. Georgia didn't have one; they won championship. TCU didn't have one; they win the playoffs. Michigan, they solved theirs and then went back to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Hell, every team that went to the playoffs had a quarterback with no competition.
But again, in today, what I'm trying to say in today's, if whoever don't win no quarterback competition, I bet you at least 2/3 of those quarterbacks that lose transfer to another school.
Well, that's fine, but when it comes to Notre Dame, we want a guy to be a franchise guy.
Yeah, so
in order to have that,
exactly, facts. But what I'm just saying is, I feel like these kids just don't got the same urgency to want to take, because they think, like, honestly, if I don't start here, I know there's a team that will take me right now. You know what I'm saying?
There's definitely the opportunity to flee to other places, but at the same time, we're not taking quarterbacks that are looking to find out to see maybe if they can play or not. We're taking guys that are looking to play right now. And for guys that are looking to play right now, I believe we have a guy in Kenny Minchie that's looking to play as soon as possible. A guy like Steve Angeli in the year 2023 in college football is outdated only because it's a win now culture. Marcus Freeman don't got years to wait till Steve Angeli blossoms and develops into Peyton Manning. So
True.
either he's ready after 2 years, or we got to look at Kenny Minchie and CJ Carr. I think it's discouraging that he's having to talk glowingly about Steve Angeli and another quarterback at the same time. He ain't just spoke about Steve Angeli by himself and was like, man, this dude, he's just ready to take on the challenge. Da, da, da. He's talking about, man, he's been tagging along with Sam, asking Sam thousands of questions. His head's spinning because he's been taking scout team to back up. It's like, oh,
man, look.
Yeah.
Man, look around college football. Man, this championship teams don't have, we got a senior quarterback and a junior quarterback. And the transfer quarterbacks aren't staying on rosters, man.
Yeah.
Allowing teams to just stack. You got to have a quarterback in each class. No. See, this is the leftovers of Tommy Reese in that quarterback room when he was the OC. These are leftovers. You know what's coming down the pipe? You got Kenny Minchie. Kenny Minchie is coming for heads.
he called up
school. The coaches have to pull his reins, bro. That's how confident he is. That's how much arm confidence he has.
Yeah.
They're worried about his confidence being too much. We got to pull him in. CJ Carr ain't giving a darn about anybody in that room when he shows up to campus next year.
All.
He don't give a darn.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking to play. And Deuce Knight, if he decides to go to Notre Dame, he don't give a darn about CJ Carr. And he don't care about Kenny Minchie. That's a quarterback room. Everybody knows who's the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft. It's Caleb Williams. Malachi Nelson don't give a darn.
That's the only time when you cool with sitting and learning, when you got the Heisman.
Malachi Nelson might understand that, this dude is the number 1 pick. This dude is the real deal. But Malachi Nelson walking in that locker room like, if he gets hurt,
I'm up next.
Or if I potentially beat him.
The same.
I'm for sure on next.
Caleb Williams had the same attitude. As soon as Spencer Rattler dropped the ball, what happened?
Yeah.
What happened?
He went off.
He took off.
He didn't win the Heisman that year, but he put up Heisman numbers.
He took off, and that's all we're saying. Like, you're gonna be a quarterback in a big time program, and you're a dog. You're a dog. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Your attitude should be, man, I bet they better not let me on this field. If they let me on this field, it's gonna be a problem. And that's the attitude Steve Angeli should have right now. If Sam goes down, it's on and pop.
It's a problem.
It's on it. Do you see these running backs? Do you see this offensive line? Do you see these wide receivers? It's about to be lit.
Go crazy.
In Notre Dame Stadium.
That's what I'm saying. You being thrusted into a position when we have a stacked team. It ain't like you thrusted into a position with no O-line and no guys to throw to. You thrusted into the
opportunity of a lifetime.
You got invited to the damn dance. Like, I'm going crazy at the prom as a freshman.
I just hope we're as good as advertised, because people over here think I'm delusional when I'm saying that,
well, we ain't been helping.
I got us against Ohio State this year for sure. Last year, I just wanted us to cover the spread, but this year I'm putting Notre Dame money line.
You playing the money line all year?
No, I'm not sure what. Okay.
What keeps you on the money line? Because this is interesting.
I got money line against Ohio State, but I don't.
Okay.
I will probably have to go spread against USC.
Oh, that's interesting.
because of the fact.
Would you take the over in that game though?
Yes. But the only reason I say I don't know about USC is because I know that how tall of a task is going to be to have to beat Ohio State, a powerhouse like them, with the receiver room that they have and the offense.
They say Ohio State the most talented team in the country.
Exactly.
That's USC.
But again, I feel like because don't we play them back to back? Like I think we got to bye then USC, or I think there's a game between. It's probably only like 2 weeks.
We play Pitt between.
USC is later in October.
But like Ohio State, it's like that last week in September.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like if they pull that off, they just got. I don't know.
That next week we picked as one of our trap games after Ohio State because they go to Duke. They go to Duke.
Oh, and that's gonna be a good game.
It's gonna be a good game with Riley Leonard.
It ain't gonna be no good game, man.
Left, man, you so disrespectful, bro. Man. I'm trying to tell you, bro. Ohio State.
There's a reason Alco.
Would Duke be a good game versus Georgia?
No.
Would Duke be a good game versus Alabama?
Wait a minute. Did you think Missouri was going to be a good game against Georgia when they went on the road last year and they were down 10 in the fourth quarter?
Do you think?
Answer the question. They came off an emotional. Georgia came off an emotional win and went on the road against Missouri, and you did not believe that they would be down 10 in the fourth quarter, did you? There was no way you saw Georgia being down 10 in the fourth quarter.
You thought Georgia was going 55 on them boys.
What was the final score of that game?
They ended up winning. They came back and won in a close game at Missouri.
The final
it was still a one possession game when it shouldn't have been.
Exactly.
But the point I'm saying is it shouldn't be a game. It's not a trap game.
We didn't say Notre Dame is the better team. That's not the point.
I'm saying it shouldn't be a trap game because
it shouldn't be, but
way more talented. The trap game, in my opinion, would be a game that is of equal talent that we should win.
That's not a trap game, Malik.
It is.
That's not a trap game. Trap games are against uneven teams in talent. That's not a trap game.
A trap game is games that we're expected to win, but we got a big game next week, or we came off a big emotional win last week, so we think it's going to be smooth sailing.
We should beat Duke.
Unfortunately, we have experienced Notre Dame playing trap games when it shouldn't be trap games in September. Toledo ends up being a trap game in the last 3 years. We're watching Jack Cohn throw fourth quarter touchdowns to save Notre Dame against Toledo, a MAC team. That has been Marshall's a trap game. It shouldn't have been a trap game. We should have been so ticked off after the Ohio State game, like, dude, we should have won that game. Let's go out here and crush these dudes.
That's true.
And we turned Marshall into a trap game.
That was a trap game.
That's a trap game.
Because nobody saw that coming. And Marshall controlled that game the whole game, too.
That's a trap game. That was bad.
So that's why, personally, I say the two games in the schedule for me are that Duke game, depending upon how the Ohio State game goes. Tennessee State, man, the chat is funny. Tennessee State is not a trap game. No.
It's not a trap game. That's a game I'm looking forward to, but that's not a trap game. The only reason I'm looking forward to it is because I'm really looking forward to seeing the HBCU band in the middle of Notre Dame Stadium at halftime.
Man,
I just want to see how the fans really accept that band.
And
they really gonna play some hits.
USC the next week, just historically, the fact that they just, for whatever reason, this program just gives Notre Dame the fits. You play USC and then you play Pitt the next week.
I think that's the bigger trap game.
Pitt always just seems to play Notre Dame tough.
That's the game I think.
Just always.
I think they'll handle that.
We look at the schedule, bro. They should handle everybody on the schedule from us, except the three big games.
Yeah, I think, but the thing is, I think Duke is going to be a bigger trap game. I'm going to have to go. I'm going to have to go against you guys on that. I think Duke is the bigger trap game than Pitt.
Okay. Okay.
Pitt's the trap game. Dude, come on, man.
Because I feel like the USC game is going to be a revenge game because more of the fact that we should have won that game.
We can't be speaking of Pitt as a team that can potentially beat us. I mean, sorry, Duke as a team that can potentially beat us because, come on, man, Georgia ain't worried about no Duke, and we trying to beat a Georgia.
Well, why do you keep bringing up losses in a trap game, bro? No big time program loses trap games. They just don't play their best.
Yeah, and Pitt's going to be good. We know Pitt's going to be good. Pitt is probably going to go to the ACC.
Yeah, Pitt knows how to play us.
I know
how to play us.
I know, but I feel like because Pitt is going to go into that game having a proper respect because they're going to have a good record. Again, I got Pitt going to the ACC championship game against Clemson, so Pitt's going to have their respect going into that game. So I think we'll be well prepared for that game because I feel like it's just because in past times when we have played Pitt, I think we'll be more ready for that game. But again, nobody's talking about Duke
for a reason.
For a reason, for a reason.
And they have a top, in my opinion, a top 10 quarterback in the country.
And one of the best coaches.
What? Are you kidding?
In this draft of loaded?
I said top 10 in college football in the country. He's a top 10 quarterback in college football. Yes. What have you been watching?
Hold on. What quarterback is this?
Riley Leonard is a top 10 quarterback in college football.
No, he's not.
I got to watch his film.
No, okay. All right. Okay.
So where's Sam Hartman if he's top 10? Sam Hartman in your top 10?
I had Sam Hartman 5 to 6.
Okay.
I've always said that.
But Riley Leonard.
Yeah. Tell me who your top 10 quarterbacks are. I want to hear this.
Yeah, Shaun. Very interesting. If he's in your top 10, who's the other top 10? Because this quarterback draft is deep.
You said draft. I didn't say draft.
No, I'm talking about.
I said
I'm
college
talking about top 10
football.
quarterbacks in college.
But it's the same thing.
No, it's not.
No,
it's not.
Two different.
Because Riley Leonard is a better pro prospect than Sam Hartman, simply because of his legs and his arm. What are you talking about? What are we talking about? Sam Hartman is a better college quarterback. That doesn't make him a better pro prospect than other quarterbacks. Sam Hartman is a better college quarterback than J.J. McCarthy. But he's not a better pro prospect than J.J. McCarthy.
Who is your top 10 college football quarterback, Shaun? Because I think this is
Caleb Drake May. 1, 2.
Okay. That's easy.
One.
That's easy. You're right.
Michael Penix.
That's a good one.
Junior.
Yep.
Facts. Number 4. I'm going to go with. You could start debating Sam Hartman at 4.
That's pretty high.
I wouldn't put him at 4. I said you can start, the people that love him, they can start debating him at 4. I wouldn't put him at 4. I'm going to flat out say, look.
You got all these excuses.
Riley Leonard ain't in there.
The only reason I'm saying this is because he's getting a lot of love and he did get better because as a quarterback, when he left Auburn,
I know you was about to say Bo Nix.
Go ahead, throw Bo Nix in there because we at 5 now. I
have to give Bo Nix credit. He put up numbers. He put up numbers and he looked a lot better.
Okay, now we at 5. Now you telling me you can't think of 4 more people?
Yeah, I can think of 4 more. No. Can you think of 4 more people? Since you're the quarterback, you think of 4 more people better than Riley Leonard.
I would love to get you to finish your list because I just need to know where this guy is laying at because he's not 5. I agree with you. We got the same 5, but your second 5 matters.
Now, when you go from him,
I I'm throwing in that bottom. I'm throwing.
You forgot about Joe Milton, by the way.
Wait. Joe Milton.
Forgot about the Florida State's quarterback too. That's two more.
Jordan Travis. Joe Milton is not better than Riley Leonard. Stop. Are you Joe Milton ain't did a darn thing in college football? Jordan Travis is definitely in 5 or 6.
Okay, now we had 6.
Joe Milton ain't did a darn thing.
Okay. Whatever.
Don't pull up Riley Leonard stats and pull up Joe Milton stats.
There are more quarterbacks though.
Joe Milton.
You can get out of here with that.
Joe Milton
okay, we don't have to put Joe Milton in there.
Joe Milton
get out of here with that.
Joe Milton
still at 6.
And just look, JJ already know where he's going. So I'm just gonna throw Spencer Rattler trash tail on the list. I'm just gonna throw he needs to be Spencer Rattler's agent. Put that. He was trash in the Gator Bowl. He's going to be trash this year.
We are at 7.
How many quarterbacks last season threw for 7 touchdowns in the game?
Hold on. Let's go to Jaden Daniels and make it 8 real quick. Let's go to Jaden Daniels and make it 8.
Dude, I'll give you Jaden Daniels. You still at 6, 7.
No, we at 8. We at 8.
No, name the 8. Joe Milton on my list. He on your list. Get that Joe Milton trash out of here.
I threw Joe Milton out.
So you at 7.
I'm putting Joe Milton in.
We're at 8. I'm talking about
Joe Milton ain't better. He's not better than Riley.
That's fine. There's more quarterbacks.
That's fine.
There's more quarterbacks. We got Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Drake May, Clay Travis, Michael Penix Jr.
It's not Clay Travis, Jordan Travis, man. He's not a singer.
Jordan Travis. Who we say? Bo Nix. That's 6.
Yes.
Spencer Rattler. That's 7.
Yes.
That's what. Okay, and then 8 was who?
You tell me.
I'm putting Joe Milton.
You're trying.
Ron said Joe. I'm not gonna say Joe.
You got to give me somebody that's actually done something.
Okay,
Joe Milton ain't do nothing.
We're at 7.
When he ain't do nothing in Michigan, and he still ain't done nothing in Tennessee.
So where's JJ McCarthy? Is JJ McCarthy better?
Hold on. I'm thinking.
I'll give you.
Okay,
JJ
so now we're at 8.
Hold on.
Now where's Sam Hartman at?
What Joe Milton you talking about?
No. I had Sam Hartman at 6. I've been saying Sam Hartman.
Okay, so then we're at 9. Then we're at 9. So you're saying that we're at 9 bona fide. You're telling me Riley Leonard's
yes, I'm taking a quarterback. I'm taking a quarterback that threw for 3,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions at Duke. Okay. Yes.
Can we go over the?
Yes, I'm taking him as a top 10 quarterback in college football. Like I said.
Can we go over the?
He has better stats. Wait. He has better stats than JJ McCarthy.
You already took JJ over him, though.
No, you threw his name on the list. I gave him to you.
But that means you agree with it.
No, I would say he's a better college quarterback than JJ McCarthy. I would.
So Quinn Ewers, where is he at on the list?
Quinn Ewers ain't did nothing. What did he do? What did he do? He's all promise. What
Riley
did he
Leonard
do?
All over Quinn.
Go look at Quinn Ewers' stats. With all the talent he had, look at his stats.
Are you taking
the man threw for 3,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions at Duke? Go look at what Quinn Ewers did.
And Dak threw for 200.
Y'all talking about these names. Y'all talking about all these names.
Hold on.
That's exactly what Quinn Ewers is. Empty calories right now. That's going to lose his job to an incoming freshman if he's not careful. So that's what's about to happen. Arch Manning is going to be the starting quarterback by October if Quinn Ewers is not careful.
You're taking Riley Leonard over Quinn Ewers. Can we get that on camera? Is that?
You ain't got to put it on camera. I'll say it for the rest of the year.
So you're not taking Joe Milton and you're not taking Quinn Ewers over Riley Leonard so far.
Man, stop mentioning Joe Milton, man.
Okay, so that's 2.
He hasn't done anything.
Joe Milton hasn't thrown a pick all year last year.
Oh my God!
Out of 54 passes.
Wow, he threw 64 passes.
And again, the two games he did actually start and play. He went.
So
he went 30 for 59.
I cannot believe y'all caping for Joe Milton right now.
I got to, bro.
You're taking Riley Leonard over Joe. That's fine, Shaun. That's fine. You taking him over Quinn Ewers too? Okay.
Who has performed better in college?
We're talking about one.
Just because, first of all, don't get mad because you didn't know his name and you haven't watched this film. That's on you.
I don't think he's that good. I think
you can't say that. You openly said you haven't paid attention to him.
I think there's 10 guys better than him.
That's your opinion, based upon that's not an educated opinion. It's not an educated opinion.
And honestly,
numbers don't make it educated either.
Honestly, y'all might
because he has better numbers than, like you said, most guys in the top 10 that you took over him. So it's not
like I said. If he can throw for 3,000, if he can throw for 3,000 yards, say what?
I'm taking Jackson Dart over that Duke quarterback. Because he plays in the SEC.
No. Because of the coach he plays for.
And the conference.
Because of the coach he plays for.
And the conference.
But I'll keep it a buck with you. You see, I actually pay attention to the quarterbacks I actually rank. I don't know about other people. They just throw people on the list because they like them when they want to be their agent or something.
What do you mean?
I actually watched. Look, let me tell you something. Jackson Dart, in my opinion, had a game where he could have taken that next step. It was the first half against, who was it? Ole Miss was on the road. I want to say it was the first half against LSU. Yes. If you go watch Ole Miss against LSU, he thoroughly outplayed Jaden Daniels. Thoroughly outplayed him. And then in the third quarter, something just happened. That was like his opportunity to say, yo, I've arrived. I'm that dude. I love Jackson Dart's physical skills. I love the fact that even when, what's your boy Spencer Sanders, when he transferred to Ole Miss, they had like two other quarterbacks transfer, and Jackson Dart was like, I'm not going anywhere. I was like, okay, he's a dog. Okay. I can rock with that. Number one, he's a dog, and I like the fact that he's under the tutelage of the quarterback coach. He's under the head coach. He's under. So I'll give Jackson Dart a chance this year to show improve. I'll give him a chance. Malik, I'm man, your hatred for quarterbacks goes to the NFL.
Are you taking DJ over Riley Leonard?
You think the quarterback?
You think DJ over Riley Leonard?
You think the quarterback in Buffalo and NFL is trash? I'm
taking DJ Uiagalelei and I'm taking Shedeur over Riley Leonard. That would be more.
Oh my god!
I'll take Shedeur, but I don't know about DJ.
Oh my god!
Watch DJ go crazy at Oregon State this year.
Oh my god!
I would take Cam Rising over Riley Leonard.
Now you being disrespectful.
How?
Now you being disrespectful.
I would take KJ Jefferson at Arkansas over Riley.
Okay, Cam Rising.
KJ Jefferson
may not have wowed you.
Cam Rising,
hell of a game.
And I would take Shedeur Sanders and DJ Uiagalelei over Riley Leonard.
And I don't agree with you. And you'll lose. And you'll lose.
With KJ Jefferson? Yeah, okay.
You will lose.
KJ Jefferson, yeah.
That's fine. That's fine.
And I'll win.
Hey, 3 years still trying to learn how to throw the ball. Go ahead. Take him. Take him. Take him. You can have your quarterback that's 3 years still trying to learn how to throw.
KJ Jefferson's the top quarterback prospects this year.
Okay, still can't throw. But go ahead. You take him. Yeah, you take him. You take him.
Riley Leonard can throw, but he can't win.
Still can't throw. Still can't throw. But you take him. Which leads us to
our Joe
next.
Milton throw?
Yeah, he hasn't been able to for 2 or 3 years. I tell you, he's another thing. It's $8 million. Hey, it's $11 million on that bench. Joe Milton better step up early. I can tell you that.
Joe Milton gonna ball.
It's $11 million. It's a quarterback that's getting $8 million as a freshman on that bench with a big arm. Joe Milton ain't the only big arm on that Tennessee roster.
He's the biggest arm in the country.
All right. He better show something. I know that.
Biggest arm in the country.
He better show something. I know that. He's going to be on that bench. So just like he was on the bench at Michigan, he's going to end up back on that bench at Tennessee if he's not careful. But you go ahead and be his agent. Him and Spencer Rattler. Go ahead. And keep saying, and by the way, keep saying Josh Allen is trash. Go ahead. Just keep
going.
going.
Josh Allen is trash. I say
yeah, you did.
Top 5.
Yeah, you did.
I say
he's not top 5. My fault.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree. Yes. He's
okay.
not top 5. Yes.
Okay.
He's not top 5.
I honestly, I can understand your argument for him not being top 5 because he does struggle a lot with red zone picks.
I know that, but also he said top 10 college football quarterbacks. You're telling me you're taking Riley Leonard over DJ Uiagalelei in college football? Come on,
he was a better quarterback last year in the ACC. What are you talking about?
Who?
Riley Leonard was a better quarterback than DJ in the ACC last year. What are you talking about? Is this the same competition?
We're talking about winning games.
Are you kidding me? He handed the ball off and had a top-notch defense. What are you talking about?
I bet you
Man, stop that crap. Man, stop that trash. Man, stop that trash, dude. Right. He had a trash season. He was terrible in the passing game. And a freshman made his tail run to the West Coast.
Oregon State's a better fit for him. Oregon State is a better fit for DJ. I agree with you about Clemson. Oregon State's a better fit for DJ.
I don't want to hear all that fit stuff, bro.
We're talking about college football.
I don't want to hear that fit stuff. Go watch that Notre Dame game. He was trash.
I agree with you.
He was trash.
At Oregon State,
he was trash. That's fine. Against Pac-12 defenses, that's fine. That's fine. Last year in the ACC, he was trash, and Riley Leonard was a better quarterback. Period. Let's move on. Marcus Freeman started off the press conference having to address the Matt Balis situation. Matt Balis called him Sunday and told him, hey, for personal reasons that's best for me and my family, I've decided to move on. Marcus Freeman in the press conference said it was a shock to him. He didn't see it coming. But then as he began to talk about it, he said he sat with Matt and he told him early in the offseason that he wanted to make changes to the strength and conditioning program, using more information, using more analytics. So basically, and John Wagner is the main guy in Notre Dame that deals with all that GPS, following the speeds, following all the integral medical stuff, that could give more information, that could implement, things that might increase weight gain and overall performance. Look, Marcus, let me. This is my bullet point right here, fellas. Marcus Freeman came into this year hell-bent on making this his program. All that bull he dealt with last year with, the head coach of the offense and all of that stuff, right? Harry Heastand being tied into Tommy, and as soon as Tommy bounces, Harry's ready to go. Al go. Marcus Freeman is letting people know this, hey, this is what I want. And if we can rock with it, you can rock with it. He had a conversation with Matt Balis. Matt Balis tried to deal with it. And I understand Matt Balis has when you're a strength and conditioning coach, this is something I understand just from having personal trainers. Personal trainers have their way of doing things, man. They have similar information, but they have different methodologies about how they want to go about it. That's on a smaller scale. Once you get to college, it's the same thing. You have good strength and conditioning coaches that disagree on certain methods, but they're all great at what they do. And I think at this point, since being there since 2017, Matt Balis just felt like whatever you're asking me to do would be too much of a change from who I am to continue to do so, because I wouldn't be happy doing it, and I don't think I could service the kids unless I'm 100% bought in. I respect that. I actually respect that.
I respect that
too. He didn't stick around and, cause a problem. He got the kids to fall camp, giving Notre Dame time to go and find a new strength and conditioning coach throughout the season to come in, settle in, and be ready for the offseason next year. But Marcus Freeman, for some reason, I was shocked No, my brother, you're not shocked. You know when you sit somebody down and you ask them to go beyond or to change who they are or to change their program, you know there's a possibility they might say no. You know when you sat in that room with Drew Pine and Tyler Buckner, you knew it was a possibility they would transfer. When you were telling them, I'm going to get a quarterback, you knew what was up. So this isn't, in my opinion, this isn't something that just popped up on Marcus Freeman. Maybe
The
because
timing.
he waited right before camp. Maybe that was the shocking thing. Like, oh snap. But the fact that it happened after what he was trying to implement, I don't think it caught him off guard at all. And he kind of mentioned that when he said, man, I always have a contingency. So yeah, I had a contingency, if this call did happen. But I thought it was very interesting that he said, and also I think he started, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in there he said before they started practice, he actually talked to the team about it because he understood how important Matt Balis had been to the young men on their roster in their development. So he felt like I had to tell the team and talk to the team about how things went down. So, Malik, you had something to say about that as well. And then JJ, I want to know from a defensive line standpoint, is there a hierarchy where strength and conditioning means more from a position standpoint? Or is it just important to the entire? I know it's important to the entire team, but is it even more important, especially in season when you're talking about defensive linemen, keeping your strength, monitoring your reps, getting your nutrition, doing what you have to do? I really want you to break that down and talk about it. But Left, you start us off with, what you heard about the Matt Balis situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think if anything, Marcus Freeman having a plan or a contingency in the fact that if Bayless chose to do that is cool with me because as long as you got a plan, it's fine. Uh, it shows that Marcus Freeman is really headstrong on making this his program the way he wants to do it. And honestly, in a position like this, as a first year head coach at a program like Notre Dame, the last thing you want to do if leaving out of this program is say, "Oh, I wish I could have did this different. I wish I could have did this different."
Yeah.
I think for him to be able to, in the first 2 years, clean house in a way where some was by choice and some was surprising in the timing of it, I think it all coincided the right way because he knew what he wanted to achieve going into it. He wasn't kind of where Brian Kelly 5-6 years in is like revamping it. Marcus Freeman is installing his whole new thing. It's different than just letting go all your coaches. He's creating a plan that's deeper than a year-to-year basis. And I think him being so on it to where you're telling guys in season that you're going to get other guys in the portal before the year's over is a guy that's very serious about at least leaving his imprint. And you can't blame a guy for that. At least he's going out swinging. But on the other side of it, you can see that is a reason why he's hell-bent on making it everything that he's envisioning because it could work. And if he builds the thing that he's been making all these moves that, in a lot of ways we aren't very comfortable as a fan base with yet because we're so used to the nonchalant, lackadaisical approach before. Coaches coming in and out, it's no big deal. Recruiting effort is not as intense because we're Notre Dame. If we don't get guys, it's because they're not smart enough or they, whatever. Now Marcus Freeman is trying to get those dudes that we say we couldn't get, trying to get the right people in that is holding us back. And he's facing obstacles that are revealing themselves. I mean, hell, he tried to go get coaches across the country and was open about it. We get them in the building and somehow they just don't come. Nobody got an answer for it. So that's not Marcus Freeman's fault. That's exposing the nonchalantness and the underhandedness of what it's like being a coach at Notre Dame. Marcus Freeman just trying to do his job. So I think at the end of the day, something's gonna have to happen. Either we're gonna bend towards the way of what Marcus Freeman is trying to build, or we're gonna keep having these obstacles that's jumping in his way. I mean, it's year 2, and he's got more storylines than Real Housewives of Atlanta. So I think for him to even get his feet under him is gonna be a total cooperation. Hopefully, with Pete Pravacqua, the new AD, they can be buds or something. You know, a Dr. Dre 50 Cent relationship or something. They can make some money, you know, do their thing, maybe get a apparel deal. Who knows? So we'll see what happens with that. I wonder if Shaun's still around.
Yeah, nah.
I'm here. I was waiting for JJ to jump in.
Yeah, nah. I actually agree with you. Just because, like, even like when Coach Kelly like initially left, like, you know, there was just like that shock about it. But like when you find out like the reasons as to why he left, and like, you know, the obstacles that he was really facing at Notre Dame, because like again, stuff because like, you know, we have faces like Byron Leftwich coming as an OC, and you know they express that they have interest, and then all of a sudden they come for a visit, and you expecting that ink to be on paper, and then all of a sudden it's not, and you find out it's because of the university's unwillingness to actually want to pay a top-notch coordinator. So like, you know, when you hear about stuff like that, I actually started to understand. And again, I'm not saying I'm not against Coach Kelly in no way or nothing like that. But initially, I was a little frustrated that he left because, you know, like because for me, you know, me and Coach Kelly might have had our differences, but like, you know, that was Notre Dame as I knew it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, knowing that that was changing just because he just wanted to up and leave, you know, it kind of you kind of take like a personal stance towards it because, you know, like I went there, I worked my behind off to help try to build that culture to where it is now. And, you know, I'm not saying, and you know, me and like, you know, we shared that bond with our teammates and stuff. And then like, you know, you see stuff like that you don't even know about as like while you're a player there, that, you know, like university's not trying to pay players, or I mean, university is against actually players getting paid, and also, you know, they're not trying to pay top-notch coordinators. You know, they kind of are trying to have it to where, you know, we still have the traditionalistic ideas of Notre Dame football, rather than, you know, try to stay up to speed with all these schools that's kind of like ahead of us at this point. You know, that's why they get into 5-star recruits, because they have the better coaches, and they have the better funding, and they have the better money allotment. And even though we create all this revenue for the school, and they don't want to put it back into what's bringing them so much revenue, that's very frustrating. I got it. I got to side with the coaches with the head coaches, Coach Kelly and Coach Freeman. That's super frustrating because, like, how can y'all expect us to bring in all this revenue, and y'all want us to be a top-notch, top-tier program, but y'all don't want to put the money towards it and put the investments towards it? So, like, I agree. Now, in terms of, like, how important is the strength and conditioning to D linemen, I want to say is probably the most important, because I feel like the weight room and in the way that Balis was utilizing the weight room and the way he was teaching the weight room was creating a relentless explosiveness to the D line. I feel like that's why we've had so much production in the past few years. Thinking about guys like Isaiah Foskey, he broke the sack record, didn't he? Yeah. So, like, you know, again, I feel like, and it was just off of guys like, I feel like a person like Coach Balis played a really big part in his success and how he panned out at Notre Dame. Think of guys like Riley Mills. Who else can I talk about? That the Amendola twins.
I mean, dude, you can go back anybody that developed under Elston from 2017 that's in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Balis was. Most of them came in as smaller defensive linemen.
Yeah.
Romeo was
Julian.
before him, but Julian.
Julian, small defense.
Like he like when Julian came into freshman, he was built like a
receiver, like Tobias Merriweather.
Yeah.
Maybe not Teskey.
And he was probably the most explosive player in college football.
Yeah.
His last year. You know what I'm saying? So like I feel like a guy like Balis, that's what a guy like Balis brings out of kids. And that's why I didn't know what happened that led him to. This is my first time hearing about it, but just because of who Balis was and what Notre Dame was before he got there and what he brought it to, that's why I was so heartbroken by it. So hey, I understand. If I was a guy like Balis, I'm not going to change who I am.
JJ, let me ask you a question because you touched on something when you talked about both of the head coaches.
Mm-hmm.
With Balis being there from 2017, and honestly, you talked about all of the programs that Notre Dame are chasing. All of them have Taj Mahals when it comes to athletic facilities.
Exactly.
In comparison to Notre Dame. Like Georgia, Alabama, former Notre Dame players say they take their kids to Ohio State, and it's like, you wouldn't believe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah.
But our weight room.
But this is my point.
We always had a great weight room.
Our weight room's nice. I don't know.
That's not my point.
Yeah.
You can have great and still get better.
Yeah.
And if what you're asking for year after year is a pull and a tug just to get it, when the strength and conditioning coach at this pro is getting whatever he wants added on an annual basis, that has to wear on you as well as the strength and conditioning coach. It's like, okay, coach, you want me to implement all this stuff, but heck, it's a tug and pull just to get certain equipment that will make it easier for me to implement stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can do what I can do for these kids with what I have, because what we have is top of the line.
Yeah.
But you're asking me to go up against these dudes at Georgia. You're asking me to go up against these SEC dudes.
And then when I lose, I'm getting called a bad coach.
Right.
And that I'm getting called incredibly inferior. So yeah, I respect Coach Kelly for making that move. Because now they don't see him as inferior to Nick Saban and guys like Kirby Smart anymore. I mean, obviously, even though they lost to LSU, they lost to Georgia, but like he's now on that same pedestal as them in terms of even the hypeness going into this next year. The SEC is literally Coach Smart, Coach Saban, and then after that, you got to put Coach Kelly.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He obviously Coach Smart and Coach Saban are tier 1 coaches. If you're not gonna put Kelly tier 1, you got to put him high tier 2 for sure. You can't put him any lower than that. Just off of his resume and track record, and even with the obstacles that he faced at Notre Dame, and with these obstacles coming out into the public eye, you got to respect him even more. You have to. And with the success that he had his first year at LSU, again, you got to respect it. He's doing it with the same coaches that he's always had. I mean, he got some new, but like Denbrock's been working with him since Cincinnati, probably Grand Valley.
Yeah.
Coach Kelly ain't really changing who he is. He just took it to a place where he doesn't face many obstacles from his own university.
Well, $100 million to change a man's mind too.
Facts. Facts.
So I want to give you some numbers of the weight gains. Since we're talking about Matt Balis, these are the official weights going into camp.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you the defensive line. I'll run down a few guys. Jordan Botello came in at 6'4", Well, no, I just lost his. Oh, there it is. 6'2" and a half, 264.
Mm.
6'2" and a half, 264. Let's see. Nana Otafa Mensa. He's 6'3", 264. Nana's pretty much been in that same range for about 3 years now. Donovan Heinisch in his second year, 6'1" at defensive tackle, 280.
Yeah, he gotta get bigger.
Yeah, Kobe Imuku, sophomore, 6'4", 265. Jason Onye, 6'4" and a half, 294. Boubacar Traore, incoming freshman, 6'4", 237. Howard Cross, 6'1", 288.
And this is now a nose guard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Aiden Kini,
You know how
Nana is 6'3", 309. I mean, Armel Buckham, freshman, 6'4", 280. Tyson Ford, defensive end, 6'4", 274. Gabriel Rubio, 6'5", 306. And then Devin Houston, the incoming freshman at D tackle, 6'4", 292. Now,
do you know how badass you got to be 286 playing nose guard?
And that's man, he makes so many impactful plays, bro, but he wears down as the game goes on.
Yeah. I've noticed that. I did notice that last year.
How do? And Jacob Lacey was the same way before he transferred.
Mm-hmm.
Those two, they got into the backfield, made plays, but then what do we talk about left in the third, fourth quarter? How teams would just end up running the ball on Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
In big time situations, it's like the depth. They didn't have the depth behind them.
Yeah.
What makes it so hard, Jerome, being underweight playing nose?
Yeah, and is that recruitment? Is that Notre Dame having this recruitment saying, okay, we can't get the big guys from down south that are naturally big, so let's just go get these 250, 260 kids and try to add weight? I mean, for some reason,
I think it really ultimately comes down to scheme and what the D coordinator wants.
We moved the line a lot.
Exactly. So you want smaller, quicker, twitchier guys. You know, think about you got guys like Dexter Lawrence that can play 1 and 3 tech, can play right over to the center, but can also play 1 and 3. But then you got guys that can do the same thing that are the same size as Grady Jarrett. You know what I'm saying? Just because they move their line, they do a lot of stunts, they do a lot of pirates and stuff like that. So
yeah,
again, like it really depends on what the D coordinator wants. Because I remember when we had Diaco, like all I know,
big dude,
was Louis Nix.
So right, so
yeah.
That makes perfect sense now what you're saying, because those 2 or 3 years they went from Big Lou, Stephon. Heck, even Aaron Lynch was a big dude as a defensive end.
Yeah, he was technically our Sam Backer.
Right. Which is crazy.
Yeah.
So, and then they get you, and I think right after you, they ended up getting, what was that, Shell?
Me and Sheldon came in together, and then
the
year after that was Isaac. I want to say
Isaac's still playing in the league, isn't he?
Yeah. He's with the Vegas Raiders.
Yeah.
Year 6. That's because he's social media star now. So they got
media
around.
And most of you guys didn't come from Aaron Lynch? No, Aaron Lynch and
he was the year before me.
Aaron Lynch and Big Sexy were the 2 dudes from the South, right?
Big Sexy. Yeah.
No, Stephon was from Georgia too.
Stephon was from Georgia. Lewis was from Florida.
But a lot of you guys were from the Northeast too. Because Eshak was from the Northeast.
Yeah, it was just me, Eshak, and Sheldon was from the Midwest.
Right.
Conan was from Hawaii. Who else do we have? Tony Springman was from
Pittsburgh or something.
He's from Pittsburgh,
Pennsylvania.
Springman's not from Pittsburgh.
I think so. Let me check.
Council was from North Carolina.
Council was from North Carolina. Spawn was from Colorado.
Jerry was from Ohio. Jared Grace.
Yeah.
Calabrese from New Jersey.
No, Tony Freeman was local. He was from Fort Wayne.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was about to say he wasn't from Pittsburgh. I feel like the only person that came from Pittsburgh at the time was Koyak.
Yeah. Yeah. Dang.
Then you had dudes like Troy Nicholas from Arizona. Well, where was Troy from? Troy was from
California. He went to
Cali. 6'8", playing tight end.
Yeah, he was a big dude.
And 280. 280 playing tight end.
Yeah.
He was huge.
So moving forward,
we just had a bigger group.
Yeah.
Because of just like because again our offense was more pro style, and our defense was a 3-4. You know what I'm saying? So our outside linebackers were DNs technically. Our inside linebackers were beefy, but then we had really athletic secondary guys. Even and they were longer guys too because they had good range. But even like a guy like Shimbo might have been like
a linebacker
6'1", but he might have been like probably 250, 260, but he was solid muscle.
Yeah,
and literally, Shimbo was like one of those dudes that you played against in high school that played nose guard and that you could not move.
Yeah. He had play all the crazy positions.
All the crazy positions that you got to be that you got to have a different mindset for.
Yeah.
Like Shimbo was like that playing.
He's super underweight, but playing the beefiest position and going crazy.
The beefiest positions.
Yeah.
And going against the biggest of the dudes.
Yeah, going crazy, bro.
Going crazy. I want to say the year we went to the national championship, I want to say Shimbo led us in sacks. Shimbo or Stefan, one of the two. If Stefan led, Shimbo was right behind him.
Yeah, Shimbo was nice, man. He was first, second round until he got in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like I feel like it's just like again, depending on what kind of system that we're running, because obviously like coaches has like their body types that they look for in guys that plays into recruiting and stuff like that. It's a lot.
So dig a little more into what you've seen, because you opened my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
It really is about the defensive coordinator, what he wants, and how that dictates. Because what did I say? I said when it came to the recruitment of Justin Scott, the math was not mathing.
Right.
And I said everybody in that building does not have the same energy towards him.
Mm-hmm.
I said you can tell there is not a concerted effort like, oh, we need this dude.
Yeah.
That's 70 miles from this campus. And when you talk about the defensive coordinator and what he wants, and you look at the weights of the D lineman, it's like, okay, what exactly do you want this interior defensive line to do? You have a bunch of 280 dudes. Your biggest dudes are barely 306 pounds. And those are your big dudes. Well, in your opinion, like what is the scheme, or what have you seen?
Again, a lot more movement along the front. You even think about the comparison again, like even to a team like a Tampa Bay to Carolina or the Falcons or something like that. You got guys like Grady Jarrett in the inside. They do a lot more stunts and stuff like that, where they're not just shooting straight ahead. They're probably going across the center's face, or they're running a lot more games. Where as opposed to Tampa, you got faster rushers on the outside. You got smaller, faster rushers on the outside, but then you got big dudes that are immovable dudes like Vita Vea that you can't move. And again, they do run a couple stunts, but they don't run as many as Atlanta. Atlanta runs a lot. You know what I'm saying? So
now in terms of we talked about Justin Scott and the the Notre Dame recruitment process. Did Notre Dame recruit you as if you felt like you was a 5-star coming to Notre Dame? Was it like a overwhelming, oh, we need Jarron day one, or was it like you kind of understood the value that Notre Dame had?
Yeah, and the thing with Notre Dame when they recruited me was they said that I could pretty much play anywhere along the defensive front because they just thought I was so versatile. They thought, like every other team, and I wish I would have listened back then, they thought everybody else I was offensive tackle. But
yeah, should have went with Easton.
yeah. But
No, but was it? But nowadays, obviously, these kids, in the recruitment process, especially if you're an elite player like you were, want to be courted a certain way. Did you feel like you was courted by Notre Dame as you were courted by maybe other schools that weren't like Notre Dame, but still the same value?
No, I wasn't, but I was okay with that. Like,
a lot of kids aren't though, and that's why we don't be getting the 5.
Yeah, I was never.
Then we lost.
Oh man, Jarron was giving us good stuff too.
Yeah, that's right.
Hello?
We got you. We got you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I was courted at Syracuse. They was rolling out the red carpet for me, but at Notre Dame, I've never seen no player ever get courted like how Jalen Smith got courted.
Exactly.
Jalen Smith was courted. Jalen Smith was field side as if he was an alumni that how we go back to the games. Jalen Smith was there every game.
He the man.
He was the man.
Yeah.
But also, one thing about Jalen compared to everybody else, Jalen actually came up and actually lived up to the hype.
Yeah.
Being that courted. So me, I was okay with it because also I didn't want that much expectation on myself. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to go.
Real honest, bro.
Yeah. For real, because I know how much pressure that can be. Because I knew how much pressure I was feeling just by just saying I committed to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How much pressure just comes with that. But be a Notre Dame commit, but also be Notre Dame's best commit. And they compare you to sports like Manti and like that. That's a different ball game, and that's a different world. So that's the world that I don't necessarily want to be in because I can barely handle the pressure I handle now. That pressure is just a whole different type of pressure, and I'm okay with it. But hey, I really appreciate y'all having me. I appreciate y'all having me because I gotta go because I'm a high school coach, so my kids got lift and we got a little scrimmage.
Hey, that's crazy because I'm working on my script. You're right. Man, go win you a championship, man. Shout out to you, Jake.
Yeah, but no, JJ, we appreciate you. We appreciate the insight on strength and conditioning, the importance to the defensive line, and the correlation to what we've seen from a recruiting standpoint of the D line and how it's connected to the coaching.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to come on here, man. I also admire the success y'all doing. I'm always a loyal fan. Whenever y'all ask me to come on, I'm always around. So I always appreciate y'all, man.
Good luck to you and your kids, man, during the season. And if I'm ever in the Buffalo area, I'm trying to think, is there a reason why?
I mean,
if I get to New York, I'll hit you up.
A lot of people find themselves up here, and if you're ever up here, hey, I'm around.
Yeah, we got to find those 10 wings.
You should be on a team somewhere. What are you talking about?
I know, but hey, I can't. I'm not these NFL scouts, and I don't control that. I can only handle what I can control right now.
Facts.
And I'm only gonna play for the team that wants to have me. So
man, they doing Zach Martin wrong. I know the O-line market messed up.
Yo, that cat Zach has to pay 50 stacks a day that he misses, bro.
That ain't nothing to him. He made almost 100 mil.
Well, it's nothing to him because Jerry's gonna give him his money.
Yeah, Jerry gonna give him his money too. And this is another thing. I actually learned this because, again, with all these coaches and because of the football community being so small, you always learn about just how things work. So like a lot of times when like, you know, a lot of those guys, when they hold out and, you know, whenever they come to some sort of agreement and, you know, obviously they get fined and all that, but a lot of times they negotiate those fines. Like, I want to say like there was a time, I forgot who it was. I want to say, I can't think of it off the top of my, but it was a guy, one of my coaches was telling me it was a guy who held out from all training camp and came and they finally gave him his contract and they negotiate. He probably would have paid, he was supposed to pay like $950,000 in fines. Ooh. And they pretty much after they got the deal done, they negotiated to him only paying like $50,000. You know what I'm saying? Because again, team issues those fines. So like, you know, they can bend their rules. So it's a lot that goes into it. It's just like, again, it is the league works in a completely different way where a lot of people just don't understand it. There's even times where I don't understand it.
That's right.
And, you know, again, I'm not those dudes that work behind them closed doors figuring out what players they want, what players they want to bring in. And, you know, I'm not going to stress myself out about it either. So if no 32 teams, because I know for a fact there's not 64 tackles out there better than me. And, you know, I only been playing the position for 6 years. But, you know,
I thought about you this morning, bro. When I saw that bum Andrew Thomas get his money for the Giants, I said, hey, you know how, bro.
Hey,
you gonna give money to Andrew.
Shout out to him, though.
Yeah, shout out to the man stealing some money.
Because like, even though because he didn't have a good first year, but he's improved every year after that.
JJ, all I'm saying is, I just hate the fact, knowing the pedigree, I know if you had stayed at tackle, bro, all the way through Notre Dame, bro, you probably be on your third contract right now, bro.
Yeah. Awesome. Chris Jones arguing for $30 million a year.
That's different. I feel like that's a great problem to have.
Yeah.
Because right now,
30 mil.
Dude, if I am on a team right now, my whole goal is to become the next left tackle for Joe Burrow or Pat. No, just let me be like a middle of the road tackle that just happens to become the next right tackle, left tackle for Kansas City.
Exactly.
Like, dude, if you protect Pat for 2 years, you're gonna get paid.
2 Super Bowls, you're gonna get paid.
You're gonna get paid. It don't even matter. Dude, you're gonna get paid. Big money. At the top of my resume is I protected Pat. That's it.
If you let Pat be able to do what he does and your team's successful, you're gonna get paid.
Yes.
That's why, you know, even like that year where Joe Burrow did go to the Super Bowl, that next year they cleaned out that whole O-line.
Yeah. All right, Jarron Jones, as always, thank you for joining the Lucky Lefty podcast. We love you, bro.
Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, bro.
Y'all be easy.
Once again, former Notre Dame defensive lineman Jarron Jones joins us left. We got a little more time, so let's jump into some of the things that Marcus Freeman did say. One of the things he said during the press conference, man, is that when it comes to, he said we got to get these young players ready to play. Part of the reason he's saying that because he knows that he actually has talented young players now. To say it and you really don't have the confidence in the young players, but now he knows the talent he has, and he's thrown down the gauntlet and put it on the coaches, like, get these dudes ready. I'm not putting them on the field until they know what they're doing, but it's your job to make sure that they know what the hell they're doing. Get them ready to play. He said he loved what he saw from his veterans. Day one, everything was smooth, moving forward. Love to hear that. But to hear him talk about getting rid of that old regime of, it is the players that have been here that are going to get the first opportunities. And no. The best players need to play, but these young players need to know what the hell they're doing. And that's the job of these coaches. I love hearing that from Marcus Freeman.
Yeah, I think it's good coach speak. I think at the same time, it's two ways of thinking? How can you learn and then go full speed? So I think there's a melding process of, or what's more important, learning. It takes time. You have mistakes. You hesitate. Football's not a game you can hesitate. So there's the challenge of the balance of where, how do you get to learning but playing fast? So I think it is a little confusing as a player that's eager that doesn't know anything. You gotta think these guys don't know anything. So to be able to uh, learn and then learn fast enough to play fast, you only play fast when you know something. So I think there's a bridge to cross, which we've seen through experience of early on last year, guys learning the timing of blitzes and learning the defenses, young players with no experience, knowing it better going into the next year. You see how the transition for guys like Jake Mickey, guys like Xavier Watts, Cam Hart coming back, but also you get, when you're able to do it at a young age, you get guys like Ben Morrison, guys that can learn and adapt, but also play fast. And so hopefully Marcus Freeman is trying to use that Ben Morrison formula to affect more of the team to where it's palatable enough for guys to learn it, but it's in depth to be able to play fast and make plays. I think you're on mute.
I forget the exact number, but he said something like Chris Tyree has put in so much work and caught some like 17, 16, 17. There was some astronomical number, just the number of balls he's caught and the work he's put in. And we talked about him being one of the most important cogs for that offense. To see him, that's what we want to hear. That is, he kind of punted when asked about it by the media, like, who's the guy? Like, who's the guy in that wide receiver room? Today, he stepped up and said, yo, Chris Tyree, we can hang our hat on Chris Tyree, and this is why.
Yeah, 100%. We know that Chris Tyree is going to be a huge factor for us, and he should be, because at the end of the day, you're going to have an opportunity with a guy like Chris Tyree to be very versatile and to be a safety blanket for a quarterback for 1 year, that when all else fails, he may not understand the play, but he can find Chris Tyree in matchups, because that's what the game is about, matchups. We know Chris Tyree is great in space, and for him to be able to develop the ability to run routes, that makes him even more dangerous when putting him in space versus the matchups he'll face with linebackers and nickel players and safeties. The benefit is that he started as a running back, so the run after catch is twice as the benefit is what the run after catch for an outside skill player would be. And so that gives you that extra dynamic of what I believe Kyron Williams did a great job as in bits and parts throughout that season, being a vital mismatch problem when the team is focusing on the number one receiver or whatever. Kyron on the linebacker, or the second string linebacker, or one of the weaker linebackers in space, it showed a lot of positive results. So having the effective Tyree in the middle of the field and then being able to hand him the ball off with jet sweeps is even more of a threat than what our traditional tight end and what that carries in the middle of the field. So it's another layer of weaponry for a guy like Sam Hartman to use at his disposal with that experience, but also for a guy like Chris Tyree to change the dynamic of the offense, where we seem a lot more volatile and a lot more aggressive from a scoring points aspect. And when you have a guy like Chris Tyree, it opens up so much more and creates so many more defensive issues. Now you can start to see and highlight the receiver room and guys being more open and making plays down the field.
Something else, the freshman Caleb Smith had shoulder surgery. He mentioned that he was the only freshman that did not participate. I like to also point out that it was good to see Eli Raritan in practice. It really was. Two knee injuries. Man, full of promise when he came to Notre Dame. We talked about that tight end room and not having a dude for the first time in a long time. We'll see how things progress during the fall for him. We just want health for the young man and the rest of the tight end room. Left, let me tell you something. People were talking about Jeremiah Love today, like, yo, this dude's speed is different. Like, he just moves different. Like, everybody's like, oh, everybody in their reports are like, okay, Jeremiah Love is different. And Marcus Freeman talked about it when he talked about getting people on the field. Like, yeah, it's one thing athletically. And I think I know what he was doing, because he was like, yeah, it's one thing to be here in fall camp and see what he can do and see his speed, but we got to get that speed to translate over into gameplay. Comes with knowledge and knowing what you're doing. But I'm sure, give me a field full of dudes that look different.
Yeah.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
And that's something that has to be another challenge for Jared Parker and being able to fit a guy like a Chris Tyree, a young guy in a Jeremiah Love, where he's not going to demand number one carries just yet, but you can't not put him on the field. And you include that can't not put him on the field factor with 2 or 3 bona fide running backs already, with a Jadarian, with an Aldrick, with the transfer at State. So now Jeremiah Love, just to get on the field, might have to play another position just to put everybody on the field at one time. It's going to help, especially because he's young. But when you're mentioning players that are coming in that are special talent, on top of the talent that you have that has been the guys for you, it's like having too much of a good thing. And it's something where it has to be a very coordinated effort. One thing that's fixed about it for sure, though, is that you have a veteran quarterback that can handle a lot more than a guy like Steve Angeli who hasn't played yet. So for Jared Parker, man, I mean, he's playing with house money, honestly. It's mix and match. It's like Legos. And you keep finding out through these practices, oh, we have another guy. Oh, we have another guy. We have another guy. Oh, this guy can do that. And at some point, you got to be like, all right, well, hell, we have to have what's the most effective, because I like our young guys. Rico Flores will make some plays. Jaden Grayhouse has been in there. Yeah. And then you got guys like Jarron Payne who's popping out of the spring as a
your guy that you said you've been waiting to see, the transfer from Penn State. He got buzz today.
He got buzz. You got Jadarian Price trying to pop on the scene. Devin Ford trying to make some plays. Aldrick Estime is looking like, well, hell, I thought I was still RB1. I might be RB1 with splitting carries 4 ways. Mm-hmm. Just because everybody else got different things they're really good at. But hell, I thought we was going to be a passing team. Now that running back room looking around like, hell, there's only one football. And, you know, Dean McCullough has done a great job of recruiting. Clearly, we getting transfers at running back when we had running backs. How that makes sense? We had so many good running backs, we had to tell running backs, you got to play something else. So now you lose a Logan Diggs, you move a Chris Tyree, but then you get a Jarron Payne ready to play, a Devin Ford ready to come in and play and transfer, a Jadarian Price coming back, looking to play some strong minutes, a Jeremiah Love, who you like, damn, he's ready right now.
Right now.
That's 5 guys. That's 5 guys.
Bro, let me tell you something. I'll say it again. Give me a field full of dudes. Give me a field full of dudes that you like, yo, he moves different.
And we haven't even talked about
that hasn't been something that you can say at Notre Dame for a long time. Maybe going back.
Yes,
going back, I think the 3 years leading up to you all in 15, I think that might have been the greatest collection of different dudes at Notre Dame on the field. Like, even when you were youngsters, like
13 class or 12 class or 14 class.
You guys got banged by USC. And the entire third and fourth quarter was about you, and rest in peace to our boy, Greg Bryant, putting on the show. And we're sitting there watching this like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, these two They different.
That's something. Yeah.
They different.
Sitting on
And
talent.
we said this yesterday. This is the first dude watching this spring. The one thing that stood out. Remember I said I wasn't worried about the defensive line because I said the defensive line has more talent. The defensive line is going to be more athletic than it was, and that was with Isaiah Foskey and Jason and Justin Amendola. You lose them, the defensive line is still more athletic right now across the board. And then they add Jean-Baptiste. They're more athletic. Jordan Patello finally becoming who he's. They moved Junior Tuilamaka outside. He's falling in love with the position. They're more athletic on the defensive line. But as Jarron Jones pointed out, we have to do something about that interior, bro. And we're trying to move and do a lot of things defensively. And at some point, you just got to be able to line up and handle those dudes in front of you and just stop the run.
That's right.
And when you have teams down south that are able to get guys 300 plus that can do both, which is move, get into the backfield, and be stout against the run, it's man, it was an uphill battle. Something else that he pointed out. Bro, I didn't realize, man, these freshman wide receivers left, these some big jokers.
Yeah.
All of these dudes are 210, 208 right now. 6'3", 6'4", 6'2". It's some big jokers left.
Yeah, I mean, these kids, look at Drake Bowen and Jaden Osbury. They came ready looking like junior, senior linebackers that have to play too.
Man.
So the level of skill and the level of size Marcus Freeman is capturing in the recruitment classes year after year is beefing up the team in the right ways. I mean, the year before, you get a Tyson Ford, big self. You get a Jalen Sneed. You get a Nolan Ziegler. And we ain't even talking about that. He's long. He's huge.
Yes.
He's not no little guy. I mean, the days of having the Joe Schmitz and the short arm, short leg linebackers are over. Hell, you drop Xavier Watts down in there, he looked like a linebacker sometimes.
Yo, I was shocked that Ramon Henderson is still like 196 pounds. He's a small dude.
Yeah,
safety.
That's definitely one of those picks where Notre Dame does these weird things where we'll get an undersized guy out of position that has talent, but only we end up seeing it. We see the most undersized talent. We see the most value from the undersized guys that probably wouldn't get shot at a particularly large program because of their size alone. Yeah. And we seem to give guys those chances, the Ben Miniches, the Salernos, you go through the list. But one thing Marcus Freeman, I think, has found his groove with and his niche with is recruiting guys that play two ways. I think he's probably seen how the first year went and the success with Xavier Watts, the success with some of these guys being utilities like a Cam Hart that can turn around and play another position, be good at it. He's like, we should make a whole team full of these guys. That way we'll always have depth and guys can be versatile and special teams and we could play as a stronger team, but you still need some specialized units. Even the Army got the Green Berets. Even the Army got them ghost recon groups that is just very, very special. And there ain't many of them. So yeah, we built a stronger Army, but we need to still make sure we got our special ops down pat.
So those of you that want to know what's going on with the offensive line, the first unit was Joe Alt, Billy Stroud, Zeke Carell, Andrew Christopher, Blake Fisher, which is what we expected. Second group, Tosh Baker, Pat Coogan, Ashton Craig, Rocco Spindler, and Emil Wagner. Third group, Charles Jaggersall was the left tackle, Ty Chan left guard, Joe Otting, Sam Pendelman, and Sullivan Apsher, the freshman, rounding out that group. So I'm going to give a little back story on. So Christopher Terry, who was the last offensive lineman in the class of 24 left, he is 6'7", 312, bro.
God.
I'm going to say it again. Freshman. This is Notre Dame, bro. You talk about, we can talk about the lack of weight for Notre Dame at the D line. That's never been a problem at O line. Dude, Charles Jagusah left. You want to know his official stats? 6'7", 330. As a freshman left. He's a freshman. Here's the backstory. So Charles Jagusah had a difficult decision to make. It was, do I enroll early or do I defend my state national championship? He chose the latter. He wanted to defend his wrestling championship. He gets injured and injures his knee preparing for the season. But he injures his knee and is like a day too late to early enroll. Because as soon as he injures his knee, he's like, yo, I might as well early enroll.
Right.
Rehab down there, be with the doctors, be with the trainers. Man, hit the road running. He missed the deadline by 1 day. So now he's working with Notre Dame, talking to their doctors, trying to get a plan, only to find out, for whatever technicalities or reasons, the Notre Dame doctors ended up having to refer him to the Chicago Bears doctors. So instead of having his procedures done in South Bend, he was driving in from Rock Island to Chicago to have all his procedures done with the Chicago Bears doctors. Had his procedures done, and they outsourced his rehab. So it was the Chicago Bears doctors and their people that were overlooking his rehab. Now, I remember I was one of the first people that found out about his knee injury, and I sent it up the line to Notre Dame to say, yo, CJ told me about this. Do you want us to keep this under wraps? Because nobody knew at this point.
Right.
So and CJ was like, I don't care. Like, you can tell. You can say it. But I'm going back and forth with him, and he's like, man, now the Notre Dame doctors I can't even be with them. I can't early enroll. He was a little down. And he was giving me the prognosis on everything. They tell me, man, I won't be able to run for another 3 to 4 months, this, that, and other. When I tell you, he has blown through every deadline that was given to him. It was almost like him having to deal with the Bears doctors was a blessing in disguise for the procedures and the rehab. And he comes in 6'7", 330. From what I hear, yo, this is not sloppy either. It wouldn't shock me if Charles Jagusah found his way in that lineup, bro. Sometime during the season. Even if they played him at guard.
We've done it with O-line before. We're not afraid to play young guys like early.
Yeah.
That big and all of that. It's just about getting healthy, big man, and we're gonna roll you out there because I don't think Marcus Freeman is afraid to pull the trigger now that he's getting the total command of the team the way he probably wants it to be.
It is. Let me tell you something, man. When I saw that dude come in at 6'7", 330, I'm like, what is this dude doing?
Yeah.
You talk about dedication, bro. And a kid that here's the exact conversation we had. This is from him. Back in April, left. This is from Charles Jadisall. He said, right now it's looking like I'm going to be limited until September or October. But with the work I'm doing now, I'm trying to get back by August. The doctors were telling him September, October. He took part in the first practice today as a starting left tackle. And the reason why he had to come to Chicago and deal with the Bears surgeons, Dr. Radican, who is the surgeon in South Bend with the team, referred him to Chicago Bears doctors that they work with because of the insurance clearance issue.
Yeah.
Whatever that means. I guess because he wasn't an active player, the Notre Dame insurance probably couldn't be used, which sucks because, like I said, he missed being an early enrollee by 1 day. And they had to go through the insurance that they had. He ends up working with the Bears doctors and their people in the rehab. And he comes in at 6'7".
To the Bears doctors. It's a great place to be.
Well, as long as they didn't send him to the Chicago Bulls doctors, bro. Because the way they fix knees never work out.
Lonzo had a special case, huh?
Man, we need Lonzo, Derrick Rose, we go down the list of knees that Chicago Bulls doctors have messed up or failed to diagnose. Heck, they almost killed Luau Dane, giving him a spinal tap. I don't know what's up with the doctors they have. The Chicago Bears, though, shout out to Chicago Bears today. Got updates from several of my guys in the media up there with big smiles saying Justin Fields and DJ Moore.
What's up with Chase? He on the inactive list?
No, man, he was on the PUP list and they released him the next day. He practiced.
Wait,
people just, the PUP list basically means physically unable to perform. You can come off of.
They said they released him?
No. They released him from the PUP list.
Okay.
And he practiced. It's dude. People up here for some reason, man. He got traded for a 2nd round pick, so now the spotlight is on him.
I mean,
was he worth it? Like, dude, it's Chicago. Receivers come here to die. What are y'all talking about? Lucky Lefty podcast.
Come on, shout out Chase, man.
Few more moments, man. Benjamin Morrison looked great today, of course.
Of course.
I like what Marcus Freeman said, that Tobias Merriweather is playing with a little bit more gravitas.
Yeah, because he's getting a chance.
Ooh, is it that simple, Left?
It's crazy what happens when you actually put him on the field and see what happens, you know.
He said he's playing with a little more gravitas, and I actually like that. I like to hear that.
Gratitude.
And that might mean, hey, Tobias probably thought he was a dude last year. He always thought he was a dude. So hopefully that comes to fruition.
We're gonna find out, man.
Oh, we're definitely gonna find out. So that starting five, once again, Joe Alt, Billy Shroud, Zeke Carrell, Andrew Kristofic, and Blake Fisher. Rocco Stendler is definitely in the mix. Pat Coogan's in the mix. Emil Wagner. If that's your swing, Emil Wagner ends up being your swing guy, just in case something happens to Alder Fisher. You should feel confident with that. You should feel confident with that. As I said, Jay Great, dude, Great House, Rico, Braden James. Dude, the size and athleticism of these young wide receivers, bro. You talk about changing the culture of that quarterback room. Chancey Stuckey has changed the culture of that wide receiver room.
That's right.
He also pointed out one of the names we talked about yesterday. Who do we say in that secondary is going to be very important? And Marcus Freeman pointed him out. Like, yo, Clarence Lewis is going to do a lot for us this year, especially in the nickel.
Got to find that fourth corner.
And he pointed out, like, hey, Christian Gray, you got to get him ready. Jay Mickey never had a confidence problem. He just struggled a little bit. This year, ready to go. Ryan Barnes, ready to go. I told you that secondary can be top 10.
That's right.
And I said it with confidence. That secondary can be top 10. And Clarence Lewis, as much as people have lamented some of his play, man, he's going to be a very important cog for them in the versatility and the way they can use him. And it's hard, dude. Forget Thomas Harper. He's been hurt. I don't know what you have in Thomas Harper. I don't know. Unfortunately, couldn't watch him this spring.
That's right.
Don't know. Cam Hart, from the videos I've seen, looks good, Left. He looks good. He's healthy for the first time. He comes into fall camp fully healthy.
Thank goodness.
Man. And if, you want to pray for someone's health, please pray for Cam Hart to make it through this camp 100% healthy. Because he's put in the work and he deserves it, man. He really does. Somebody else, Deion Colsey, was said to have a good day. And Deion Colsey is about damn time. Excuse my French. This might be that now and never year for you at Notre Dame, bro.
Yeah. It's a good time when that happens. Do or die time.
Hey, it is what it is. It's do or die for you, my brother. Defensively, defensive line, look good. Youth, talent, movement. Seniors look good. J.D. Bertrand is going to look good, man. You know why? He's a very smart kid. He knows what he's doing. The proof in the pudding for J.D. Bertrand is Saturdays. I don't need to see anything else from J.D. Bertrand on the practice field.
That's right.
Nothing. I don't want to see nothing from him in shorts. With pads, without pads, nothing. He knows the defense. He knows the calls. He can tell everybody what to do and what they need to do. I just need him to show up and do what he's supposed to do on Saturdays. That's it.
That's it.
I don't need a practice report on him. None of that. Go get the job done. Consistently. Go get your job done. Notre Dame is athletic, up front, D-line, not really stout. As Jarron Jones said, looks like it's going to be a defensive line that's about movement. That's what they want. And if that's the case, man, you're going to have to keep the reps of Howard Cross at about 30 to 35. Let them be effective. And then hope your youngsters like Jason Onyé, who has been the talk of the spring and continues to be the talk of the fall, 6'4", 294. Hopefully he's the perfect complement. But that's day one left. That's day one Marcus Freeman. That's day one camp. Yes, Marcus Freeman knows what he has. And this is what we said about KVA coming next year, right?
Yep.
People are like, yo, can he start as a freshman for what? I like the fact that he believes he can start as a freshman. He should. I want him to come in as a dog. But he has two dogs in front of him in the freshman class. He has another dog in Jalen Sneed and Nolan Ziegler. That's been pointed out by the head coach. Like, hey, Marcus Freeman is like, yo, I know they can go. That's basically what he said today. I know our youngsters can go. I know our youngsters can go. But they got to know what the heck they do. And coaches, it's your job to get them ready. Darn right. Throw the gauntlet down. Throw it down. We got young dudes that can go. We got young dudes all over this field that move differently. Get them on the field. Get them on the field. I don't care if it's situational. I don't care what it is. Get them on the field. Like you said, Left, how many situations could they have created for Tobias Merriweather last year?
Yeah.
He doesn't need to know the entire playbook. Create a situation for him. Five plays a game. It's not that hard.
Not that hard.
5 times a game. This is the Tobias package. 5, man, whatever time. This is the Jalen Nolan Ziegler package on defense. This is it. You better believe it's a Christian Gray package. You better believe it. It's a plan. And the strength of Al Golden, as we were told when he first got the job, was situational football. Okay. Create the situations. Create the situations. Because we're telling you, Notre Dame fans, you got a field full of youngsters that move differently than what has been seen on Notre Dame football fields. And that's good. Mike Goolsby played the position. He watched his film. Hey, if he says KVA is going to start as a freshman, Drake Bowen don't give a darn about what Mike Goolsby's saying.
Right.
And neither does Jay Nosberry. They don't give a darn. But I love the linebacker room because you got a bunch of dogs coming into that room. A bunch of them. A bunch of them Left. Shoot. I'm hyped, boy. I'm hyped. I can't wait to get down there. Like I said, I couldn't go today. The next full practice, I think, is like in another 7 days or something like that. They got the cookout with the kids coming in this weekend. That should be exciting. Man.
Good stuff down ahead.
Man. Bro. When's the last time y'all receiving corps had like everybody over 200?
Never. We was fighting the game weight at receiver.
That's crazy.
Corey, Chris Brown, Corey Holmes. Everybody was fighting the game weight. Will.
Man. These dudes just naturally. You can say one thing about Matt Balis, boy. He might not have been comfortable, but these freshmen, they right. You see Armel Mookum come in at 280, coming off the edge.
Gonna look serious.
Man, look here. Let me ask you a question. Did Jalen Smith know what he was doing on the football field, bro?
Yeah, he just.
Because you would tell me stories about how he would miss the play, but he was so good just physically.
Just some guys are just him, and then there's some guys that, like those rappers. Some rappers can put out their first music and it's just hot. It's just some dudes work all their life on music and can't get a number one, So
and be technically sound.
Yeah, everything good, good music.
Everything good.
He was not a Drake song, That's what it is. Jalen Smith, just everything was just fire. Like, he just did everything good. He just like, damn.
Miss assignment and still make a play. Still cover it up. You think the tight end is open, you throw the ball.
It just was rare that you wouldn't know if he messed up or not because he was just good. He was just like, damn. So that's like Will.
Yeah.
Yeah, he dropped some passes here and there, Couldn't catch Diggs, still can't catch Diggs. But I mean,
what was it with Will in the dig route, man? Because the dig route was a route that he could have took to the house.
See, the guy just was like, we can't give you everything. Can't give you everything. We give you the deep ball, give you everything else. Just can't let you catch Diggs because then you'd be unfair. You'd just be unfair.
Something else on the way out that I'll give you the opportunity to answer to that was part of leftovers. Someone questioned your take saying that they said KVA was the best player on his team.
Yeah, right.
When they couldn't understand what you were saying about him.
Yeah, he wasn't in the group of linebackers that I saw.
And you, like being a coach out in California, had an opportunity to actually play against during camps and to watch them play at St. John Bosco, which is pretty much a factory.
Yeah. I mean, kids there, it's like you getting offers off of standing next to the dude getting offers. It's just, they have recruiting dinners where they just invite all the college coaches and they just sit in dinner and watch film with the players there. So it's like a big auction. So, whatever.
Man, it's crazy because this year they play St. Thomas Aquinas, Mater Dei, Servite, Santa Margarita. They play Miami Norland too. Yes, they do. They do have other touted players on their roster that people that Notre Dame is not recruiting that are going to schools like USC and other great programs. They have 5-star offensive lineman, another D lineman, another linebacker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. They're good.
Yeah, I think they're better than a one-man show. I'll say that. They are a program, and he's just another talented player to come through that program.
Yeah, man. It's like hit or miss with those things because everybody's good. So what do you do?
So we gave you a mega show. We talked Marcus Freeman. We talked the first day, what we heard coming out of the camp after one practice. Jarron Jones previewed the D-line, talked about what he's seen, what they're being asked to do, what they want to do. Had some more great conversation at the start, man. I forgot to ask him who he had with the Spence fight because I know he's a huge boxing fan. But I'm pretty sure he's going Spence.
You still not putting no money on it?
No, brother. I wouldn't bet your money on this fight.
Wow.
Nope.
Do you think it'll be a knockout or you think it's gonna go 12?
Nah, I just don't trust it. It's too. No, I don't have confidence either way. I just don't.
Damn.
They too good, bro. They too good. Too good. It is very reminiscent, not because I would never put Crawford. He's much better than what Sugar Ray Leonard was going into the Hagler fight. Sugar Ray Leonard was coming off retina surgery, mini retirement, battles against Duran and Hearns. Yeah, he had been through wars. Crawford is a much better fighter at this point in his career than Sugar Ray Leonard was. But what Sugar Ray Leonard was going into that Hagler fight, was more athletic, faster, and a better boxer and thinker in the ring than Hagler. Hagler was a machine. He's just like Spence. Here I am. I'm coming. 15 rounds. And Ray outsmarted him and outboxed him. All he had to do he only had to do it one night. He didn't have to beat him. It wasn't two out of three.
Yeah, not an NBA series, right?
No. For one night, Crawford has to come up with a game plan and handle the punishment that he's going to face. That's it. That's it.
That's how easy and
That's
hard
it.
At the same time.
That's all he had to do. Both of these dudes can go to sleep. Man, it's so disrespectful of people. Dude, he couldn't knock Shaun Porter out. There's a bunch of people he couldn't knock out. Who was the fighter he fought, the smaller fighter he fought in Cowboy Stadium? Oh man, the Mexican fighter. Was it
Mexican dude. He's good though.
Yeah, everybody was like, "Oh, Spencer's gonna walk through him and knock him out." He couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it. The dude was tough.
No, you know why? Because the other man has something to do with what happens.
Yeah, it's just they going there and fighting dummies or something.
Yeah, so people are like, "Oh, he's just gonna walk through Crawford." Based on what? That dude ain't facing a punk. That's another dog.
Yeah, really. It's just you like the other dude better. That's all it is.
It's another dog. And it's a fight where if the best Crawford shows up, it's going to be a problem for Spence.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that Spence can't win, but it's going to be the toughest fight of his life. And if y'all think, just listen to Spence talk about the fight. He knows that.
Yeah, Spence is like, yeah, this is going to be dog versus dog. We're going to go test each other's will. He ain't in there talking like, yeah, I'm about to go crush him because he know he not.
He knows he's not. He got these fans out here, oh, he's just going to walk. Man, please, you better listen to the man himself.
Hell, Bud Crawford is talking spicier. He like, yeah, I'm going to get him.
Both of these dudes know. They walking into landmines, bro.
Yeah.
It's landmines.
They're going to get hit.
It's landmines all over that ring on Saturday night. At any point, they know. They know. That's why they both put that clause in there for their rematch. Because they both know it can happen.
Yeah. Or,
it can happen.
Unintentionally. Like just one, you got a good hit. That's just a good hit.
You know why? Because dude is good.
Yeah, do they
They both know dude is a dog. Dude is a dog.
They can catch me one and it just be what it is.
Yo, they know. And they fought the same dudes.
Yeah, Shaun Porter. They both fought Shaun Porter.
And Crawford knocked his tail out.
Spence couldn't do it.
They both demolished Kell Brooks. This is the fight that you rarely get in boxing.
Nowadays, everybody ducking, yeah.
Everybody's ducking. This is that fight, bro.
They both in their primes. It's time.
So you name me the last fight like this huge, where you saw somebody just walk over somebody, bro.
Yeah, never.
That's not happening with two dogs.
Just imagine being the guy they both talking about. I knocked him. I knocked Shaun. You Shaun Porter. They both talking about how they beat you.
Man.
You didn't do nothing to Shaun Porter like I did to him.
And this is the crazy thing. I think like in the middle of the fight, like the sixth round, I think Shaun Porter was ahead officially on the cards against Crawford.
Don't matter.
And Crawford just walked him down the next 3 rounds, bro. Just walked him down. Man, let me tell you something, man. I would gladly pay this $100 this weekend. Gladly.
You said you can't go. You can't go see this fight around nobody else. Huh?
No. And this is why I am happy. I'm extremely happy to pay the $100 and watch it, man. And that's why I say I can't even bet on this fight. Because just like any other sport, it's not even about you, bro.
Not even about you.
The man opposite you has something to do with it. Because Spence could be the best, but Spence ain't never fought nobody that's good.
He never fought nobody that's good. Yeah,
he's never fought. So your best is going up against a totally different opponent than it's ever faced.
Yeah.
So not only does Crawford have to prove how he responds, Errol Spence has to prove how he responds to that level of competition.
It's the peak for both of them.
Man, bro, it is. It's going to be one of the greatest joys ever, bro.
For real.
It's going to be one of the greatest joys ever. I truly believe that. I truly believe they're going to give us a classic. I don't care if it's 2 rounds, 3 rounds, 6 rounds, 10 rounds.
It need to be longer than 2 rounds. Shaun.
Hey, well, you can have a 2-round classic where they come out in the middle of the ring and just go at it.
Go at it, yeah.
And somebody just gets caught. Or you can have a 12-round classic that goes to the cards that we sit up here and debate that Monday morning on Lucky Lefty like, hey, yo, did you see that?
This fight gonna bring Broxton back.
It's gonna take a little more. It's gonna take a little more.
Because then Shakur and Tank Davis got to fight.
No, Shakur doesn't need to go after Tank right now. Not right now. See, Devin Haney's a chump.
Oh, we know that.
Devin Haney's a chump. Devin Haney, you don't show up to Shakur's fight Call him out. And then when he comes to your fight to say, okay, a fight that you lost in the eyes of a lot of people. To Lomachenko. A lot of people had Lomachenko winning that fight.
That's right.
He comes to your fight like you did him, respectfully says, yo, you ready? Let's do this.
He said, I want it.
And now you running?
Yeah, he was running. Why was he running though?
Now you running from the fight for what?
For what? Why is he running?
Because Lomachenko showed him he wasn't as good as he thought he was. That's what happened.
That's what happened.
That's what that old man was like, hey, I got something for you.
That's right.
Now he's trying to save himself, talking about, oh, I'm moving up in weight. To who? I hope you're not going after Tank. Oh, my Lord. And Tank fresh off that 30 days, too? You saw his hair unbraided when he came out? Oh,
Yeah,
Tank was in the yard lifting, getting his mind right. Devin Haney, you don't want Tank right now. You don't want it. I'll tell you the money fight for Devin Haney.
Joshua,
Ryan Garcia, right now.
Garcia, yeah, right now. You got to do it right now, though.
Get him right now. Coming off a loss. Go get him right now. Name still hot. He in Errol Spence's camp too now with Derrick James. Go get him right now. But you too scared.
Teddy too scared.
You and your daddy ain't gonna do that. Too scared. They're too scared. Hey, man, this is gonna be a great weekend for fighting, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants anything to do with Ennis. They running from Ennis.
Running from Ennis.
Running from him, bro.
They running from the Carlo twins too.
Man. That little, what's his last name? The NU kid? The knockout he just put on your boy the other day? He's coming too. He's about to move up. Y'all better watch this. Man, boxing has a ton. Boxing is almost like Notre Dame. They got a bunch of talent. They just can't seem to put it together.
Can't seem to put it together.
There's a bunch of talent running around in boxing. Bunch of great fights. Bunch of great fights that can be made. And see that whole Manny Floyd thing. Look, they juiced y'all for the biggest purse, and y'all don't even realize that. But let me tell you why. Manny Pacquiao, by the time he was ready for Floyd, had already lost 4 to 5 fights. Manny Pacquiao was never going to be in the same class as Floyd Mayweather, man. Stop it. He never was. And Floyd knew it. But they juiced the public until they built it up enough where the public was like, yo, you got to have it. Did you see the check that Floyd got after that fight, bro?
How much was it?
And see, this is the problem. People saying Prime Manny would have had a shot. A shot at what? A shot at what? Y'all acting like Prime Manny would not have been Prime Floyd. Because the Floyd that beat him was not Prime Floyd.
Right.
Oh, Prime Manny would have had a shot. Prime Manny was knocked out by Marquez on his face. You would have never seen Floyd laying on his face in a fight. Ever.
What did he say? Ever?
Ever. Man, look. Y'all fell in love with a dude, and see, let's keep it a buck. Yeah, y'all fell in love with a dude that was on steroids. It was openly known in boxing he was on steroids. That dude went from a below average fighter to all of a sudden this dude's hands moving as fast as Fred Flintstone's feet moving on that Flintstones car. And all of a sudden that came from the training of Freddie Roach. Man, get real. As much as y'all fell in love with Sosa and McGuire, knowing what the heck was happening, that's just how y'all fell in love with Manny Pacquiao. And you knew what was happening. All the boxing knew what was happening. But he made money. And they didn't care. So everyone turned a blind eye. Everybody.
Tell him, Shaun.
Everybody turned a... If you don't want to admit it, that's fine. Hey, I don't care about what Sammy Sosa and McGuire put in their arms. They gave me one of the greatest summers of baseball. I care less. It's not for me to adjudicate that. It's not. And I didn't mind Manny either, because it wasn't for me to adjudicate that. But Floyd ain't stupid. Floyd knew what the heck was going on. And Floyd wasn't walking into that trap unless the money was going to be at a certain level. Yeah. And he juiced it until it got to that level. And if that happened to be non-prime Manny, that's on Manny.
That's on Manny.
Floyd was not about to be the idiot for his sideshow. He wasn't. Floyd, this cat Floyd walk in with Canelo in his prime. Bigger than him and embarrass this dude. Y'all worried about Manny Pacquiao? Get the heck out of here. Floyd, prime Floyd would have had a game plan for Manny Pacquiao just like he had for anybody else. Yeah. He just was not about to be a part of that. And the way he did it, Floyd never hated on Manny's hustle.
He never hated on Manny's hustle.
He never hated on his hustle.
No.
He let him build because he knew eventually what Manny built was going to make him money.
Make him money. Because he knew he's the better fighter.
That's it.
I still believe Floyd's never taken a fight he didn't think he was going to win.
Dude.
That's my thing.
There was one fight at one time that I thought was coming down the pipe. And it was the other fighter. And people are probably going to be shocked when I say this. At one time, I thought Felix Trinidad would be a tough fight for Floyd.
Really?
I really did.
Didn't Floyd acknowledge didn't he acknowledge him as one of the toughest fighters?
When Felix, Oscar De La Hoya is just soft. That's why he ended up losing that fight to Felix, because he outclassed Felix for the vast majority of the fight. And then Felix just won the later rounds. But early Felix Trinidad, I think Felix eventually was overrated, especially after that boxing lesson Bernard Hopkins gave him, bro. Bernard Hopkins just broke that dude down.
Yeah. He
was never the same after that. But early Felix, with that speed and that power, I was like, ooh. If him and Floyd end up meeting, I was like, yo, he might be a problem. But yeah, he did have stiff legs, and Bernard Hopkins just took him to school. That cat Bernard took him to school.
Yeah, put it on him, didn't he?
Man. But styles make fights, man. And it's just tough Floyd has so many answers. And the one thing everybody says, Floyd can't punch. Floyd can't punch. He punches enough to bag people up. I know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
He hits hard enough where people get hit and they say, oh, snap. I don't just want to walk in.
Yeah, when he does throw, he hits you with something now.
Exactly. So, man, you can say what you want to say. And I'm not sitting up here saying I'm going to make Floyd my all-time greatest. I would struggle to put Floyd above Muhammad Ali, me personally.
Really?
Just because, dude, Muhammad Ali, bruh, it's one thing to hear it, but it's one thing to go and watch his 3 fights with Joe Louis. I mean, not with Joe Louis, but with Joe Frazier. Then to watch him just take apart that rumble in the jungle. You talk about somebody taking somebody to school. And just the way he beat Sonny Liston in the first fight. Bro, Olympian. And then he took chances, bro. That's something I would say. He was more willing to take chances than Floyd was.
But those same chances kind of dampered the end tail of Muhammad Ali's career.
Well, the end was just him needing money. Which is what I look. I applaud Floyd at the beginning of his career, taking the chance on himself to save his money to be able to buy himself out of the Bob Arum contract and control his destiny. Starting with that Oscar De La Hoya fight. But the era that the boxers in this day and age left are scared of their right collar.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know what that means?
They scared of that loss record.
They scared to get that one. Dudes back in the day, they weren't scared of that one.
But dudes fought all the time back in the day too.
Yes, it was a different business as well. That one maybe didn't hurt the business as much back then as it does now. Maybe. It is what it is, man. It's just a different day. Different day. And it's hard to compare players from different eras. The rules were different. The way the game was played was different. And I think there's an argument for someone to say Sugar Ray is better than Floyd.
Really?
You lined up the top 5 wins in Sugar Ray's career compared to Floyd's top 5. It's not even close.
But that's the same argument that you would use like with LeBron. You know, LeBron's got 20 years in the league, but I'm sure his best 5 games you could compare to somebody who's had a shorter run like a T-Mac in his best 5 games. You know?
Well, what I'm saying is you can't fault Floyd for who he had to go up against. That's who was in. He fought whoever was in front of him in his era. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true.
Like, it's not his fault. I'm just saying for people that will sit up and say, yo, Sugar Ray, 5-weight division champion, pound for pound for however many years. And the dude beat Duran twice, Hearns twice, Hagler, Wilfred Benitez, who's the dude when he beat him. Like, bro, you talking about this dude beat like flat out like 6-7 Hall of Famers in their prime. In their prime. Floyd, unfortunately, his resume, he can't compare with that. and the era was different.
And 50 losses, 50 wins over 0 losses, just a feat. That's like the scoring title.
Man.
It's like, yeah.
Nathan, have a great day. We did 2 hours on Notre Dame. Bounce. You don't have to come back. It's fabulous. Absolutely fabulous when you look at what he was able to do. You know, and that is the great debate of just the sweet science. That's why people get upset with Floyd. I don't get upset with Floyd. When he explains why he did everything, the object of boxing is not to get hit. That's what I built my entire game plan around. DBZ, you know how we are, dude.
That's right.
People want to be clowns. Let them be clowns, man. You know, I was reminded why I don't live. No, you should have been reminded. If you left once, you should have stayed gone. Period. We give you 2 hours of Notre Dame football. We want to sit here and talk about one of the biggest fights coming up in the history of boxing.
History of boxing.
Get your clown tail out of here. Get your big goofy self out of here. And heck, there's still 130 people in here that are interested.
Yeah. They watching that fight too this weekend.
Man. I don't know, man. Protect your money on this one, people.
Yeah. Not a fight to bet on for sure.
Man. Please. Protect your money on this one. Or try to hedge it. Right? Try to prop it. Like say it's gonna be put your money on a decision or put your money on a late round stoppage or something. Something that's kind of sensible.
I don't know.
Right? So you still rolling with Spence, right?
I just think, but from a storyline perspective, Bud is the more attractive pick. Just because even though he has more victories, more knockouts,
yeah,
they not giving him the credit like they giving Spence, you know, in the media's perspective.
Well, like Spence said on the pivot, he's the big dog.
He is the big dog
on the business side. He's the big dog on the business side. He draws more pay-per-views. He draws more people to the fights. He's shown that. So, like I said, man, that's the great thing with boxing, sports like tennis. What we saw in that incredible final, men's final at Wimbledon, as cold as Djokovic was a machine walking through that Wimbledon tournament, bro. But that 19-year-old woke up that morning and said, "This is gonna be the best dude he's played all tournament."
He said, "I'm better today."
Yes, let's see how he responds to me today.
Yeah, because I have a good orange juice and cereal.
Good strawberries and cream.
Yeah, I'm ready to go today. He's gonna have a problem on his hands.
Absolutely.
And for that day,
Djokovic couldn't respond. He couldn't hit that button. That's it. And like double down, see, this is the common thought process. You know, I think Spence breaks him down to the body and stops him late. Who says Spence is not taking body shots from Bud early? See, this is the problem. This is the problem. Bud punches to the body too. Spence has a body too. Which is why I say this is just not, you just can't throw Spence's game plan he always uses out there like, oh, this is going to work. What did Mike Tyson say? Everybody has a game plan until they get punched in the mouth.
That's right.
We have to see how Spence reacts to possibly not having the same gas in the tank late in the fight as he's used to. Because he's taking a little bit more. He's getting hit a little bit more than he normally does. That's why I say this another dude, this another dog in the ring. Spence, he's not outclassed. Spence outclasses everybody he's fought thus far. Period.
That's why,
dude. Like, yeah, Spence hits harder. Crawford hits harder than anybody Spence faces as well. And he's faster than anybody Spence's face. Like I said,
he might be more athletic than Spence.
People act like Crawford ain't gonna have nothing to do. Like Spence can go in there and do whatever he wants on Saturday night. That's not the way it goes.
Spence
this ain't PlayStation 5, dude. It's a grown man. It's two dogs. This man is Errol Spence is telling you he has to be at his best. He knows what's coming. Please don't be mystified if you look up in the middle of the fight and Crawford is handling this dude. Right? Because usually Spence takes his time, right, Left? He takes his time.
His clock is going to be sped up so much more.
He takes his time. Exactly.
He's going to have to acknowledge Bud's offense at some point.
At some point. Oh, Jason Smith, I was playing 2K23, PGA 2K23. I just played a couple of rounds last night. I'm on my second season with my player. I lost the Players Championship, dude. At the end of my first season, I was upset. But I'm leading the FedEx Cup standings in my second season.
That's right.
I just won Torrey Pines. I forget the next tournament. Ivan, that's an interesting question. Is Chris Tyree the fastest on the team still? Man.
About Jeremiah Love. You don't know.
Bro, the way they talking about Jeremiah Love.
Hell, Jadarian Price fast as hell.
And this is a good point, ED3. We have been so impressed with Errol Spence's return after that tragic accident. At what point does his body not give him the best? You understand what I'm saying, Left? At some point, Errol Spence is going to show up one night and everything is not the same.
I think he'll know after this fight.
You might be right.
He'll know exactly where he is after this fight. Because, for both guys, where do you go after this, regardless of winner or loser, you know?
And see, that's the danger of, like, mano a mano. Because there are certain nights you show up on the basketball court and you don't have it, but you got teammates. You got teammates. And Errol Spence has stared death in the face and still been able to come back and give performance after performance after performance after performance. And how many more of those great performances does he have? How much more does he have in him? You know, we don't know. Only his creator and he can answer that. He looks good. Looks in great shape. But they had Bud Crawford as a hungry dude.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like Bud, and you can see Arrow like really now he's getting into the whole promotion game. You know, he's promoting Frank Martin. I think he's going to be involved with Ryan Garcia's next promotions and some type of partnership from what I've been reading. Errol Spence is already like
turning the wheels
outside of boxing. You know what I'm saying? And Bud is still in the midst of
trying to be the best.
Being that hungry dude. Yeah. And that hunger
plays into it.
Could play a major part on Saturday night.
I gotta go to practice, Shaun, but I'm gonna get back on.
Man, go ahead. Man, go ahead. You know, I'm talking boxing, bro. I'm here as long as I'm hyped about this fight. So I talk boxing. Whatever you guys want to talk, I'll give you another. I know Brian Driscoll and Vince D'Addario are live in about another hour and a half with their practice report. Haven't had an opportunity to talk to B Dris yet, but I will do that. And I'm going to pose some questions. But like I said, you know, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll have some clips of the Freeman press conference, some more intel, really get into things. It's day one. So we're spreading this out. Full coverage today, full practice. We don't have much. The next 3 days, we get to do the stretches and cover the stretches and some warm-ups. We won't be able to see the full practice. Then a big recruiting weekend. And then I believe the next full practice we have is maybe another 10 days from now. So that will be the next major practice report. I will be on the scene. I wasn't able to make it down there today. I will be there for that. And I think we have one more before the season starts that might be towards the end, like maybe 7 days before they break camp or something like that. So you're going to get 3 major look-ins to Notre Dame practices. So lock in with us, lock in with Irish Breakdown. Vince and Brian Driscoll were both at practice. Vince does a great job watching the line play. So I'm sure Vince is going to be able to break down the offensive line, defensive line, quarterback is quarterback. Notre Dame has a leader, Sam Hartman. His leadership, I'm sure he looked great. We're going to talk about that on Irish Breakdown and some other stuff. So they're going at 5 o'clock Eastern, which is another hour and a half from now. Man, I'll talk for another 5 minutes. You guys have any questions about what we talked about the first practice, about Marcus Freeman, boxing, anything? Crawford is from I think Omaha, Nebraska. He's a huge Nebraska Cornhusker fan. So I think he's from Omaha, Nebraska, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's from Omaha, Nebraska. But look, like I said, Errol has already turned the page. He's starting to think the business, promotion, life after. He's planning because he can see things are coming to an end. And I do believe Bud Crawford is like Bud Crawford wants to get, because Errol has never had to sweat. This is the beautiful thing about Errol. In order to make huge fights, he has never had to sweat Las Vegas because he's always had Jarron Jones in that huge stadium in his back pocket. So Errol has been able to recover from the accident, stay home, come out of the accident the first fight, and pack 100,000 into Cowboy Stadium. That's a blessing in the boxing game, man. That's a huge blessing from the business side. Huge, huge blessing from the boxing side. That doesn't happen. Bud is still trying to get to Vegas because Nebraska ain't it. The fact that Bud is getting $20,000 in Nebraska says a lot. That says a whole lot. That he's getting $20,000, $30,000 to come out to a fight in Nebraska. That says a lot. That he's getting pay-per-view numbers in Nebraska. That says a lot. But Bud is shooting for Vegas. He has to get to Vegas. And this fight can be that takeoff for him to get to Vegas, man. Get 4 or 5 more fights in Vegas, make that money, and now he can start thinking about his transition in life. It's an absolutely amazing opportunity and a crossroads for both fighters, in my opinion, for their careers. They know how huge it is for both of them. Personally, legacy-wise, business-wise, future, they know it's a huge fight. I was just mad that they didn't give us like an episode of All Access. I think the next episode is like post-fight. I'm like, oh man, give me the lead up. Give me the lead up. So like I said, great show today. I appreciate you guys. Podcast will be dropping later on tonight. And we'll be back tomorrow morning at 11 a.m., man. We're really going to dig some more into the Marcus Freeman press conference, some other things he said, some more intel. Like you said, an hour and a half Irish breakdown with Vince and Brian Driscoll, who are both at the practice. I'm sure they'll give you some insight to certain things. And yeah, that's that, man. Enjoy the rest of your day. But don't forget, make sure you spend it different.